Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How you all doing today? How is everyone doing today? All right, we're just starting anyways. I know we're still going to get more people to join the call. I hope your weekend has been good so far. Don't worry, you're free to unmute yourself and let's have a discussion today. All right. So, how's the weekend been so far? And happy Independence Day to everyone. All right, or if you're from Nigeria anyway. Happy Independence Day. So, how are you guys doing today? Akim Nowo, Carl, Chujo, Daniel. How you all doing today? What's happening? Don't worry, you can unmute yourself. You're fine to unmute yourself. Don't worry. It's we're not. We're just getting started. Okay. We're still expecting more people to join us. All right. So, how's your day been? How's the weekend been so far?
Um, my name is Carl. It's been good.
Sounds like you've been enjoying yourself, Carl.
Oh no, really. I just
Really?
closed from a program. Uh,
Okay. Okay. It's good to have you on board. Don't worry, I won't take too much of your time. It's just going to be a roughly 2 hour session. We're going to be looking at a real life practical example of how data engineering is being used for in a ride hailing company. All right. And during the while we're starting this before we started the session, we were listening to the testimonials, and some of these people came around to say that the main reason why they enjoyed the training was the real life applicability of what we're doing of the training itself. So it's not just teaching you theory, but seeing how this thing is being used in the industry. Now, take for example, data engineer. All right, is one name that people throw around a lot. Oh, they build data pipeline. Oh, they do this, they do that, they do. There's so much technicality out there. But now, what makes 10 analytics the best place for you to learn is essentially is one simple thing, all right, which is real life practical examples. So yes, you've heard of data pipeline. Oh, you're moving data from one point to the other point. But why are you doing that? Why are you moving data from one place to the other? Okay. Are you are you, all those guys that, if you've ever been to any construction site back in Nigeria, you have the guys that carry, the cement and all that move cement from one place to the other. It's not that kind of scenario. Okay. So in this kind of what we're going to be talking about today is real life. Okay. How the role of a data engineer in take for example, what we're discussing today is ride hailing. So ride hailing essentially is the likes of Uber, Taxify, who else is there? Very popular one. Lyft in the US. If you're in the US, you know Lyft. You know Bolt in Nigeria. You also know the likes of and any other ride hailing services. It could be bicycle, it could be scooters and all that. So essentially, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So, like I said, yeah, we are still expecting quite a number of people. Okay. So, I'm just going to be starting off to, understanding where you guys are coming from. Okay. So, first of all, where are you tuning? All right. So, what location are you? Are you in the US? Are you in the UAE? Are you in Nigeria at the moment? Are you in the UK? Where are you based? You could use the chat. Let's use the chats to get to know each other a little bit better. While we're still a bit small, let's get to know each other quickly. So, I can easily apply it to your own situation. Do you understand? So you can understand it better. All right. So where are you joining from, guys? Drop it in the chats. Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Canada? Oh, I have Felix from Ghana. Okay. So where are you joining in from, guys? UK, Qatar, okay, Nigeria, Ghana. Okay, we have quite a number of Ghanaians in the house. It's good to meet you guys. It's good to have you guys on board. South Africa, okay, beautiful. Niger. All right, it's good to meet you guys. It's good to meet you, Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so fantastic. So one thing, let's talk today. What today's session is essentially going to be very interesting. It's literally going to be very interesting. And that's, things that you think that you feel. Sometimes you feel like something is, you know, something you don't know what is happening on, all right? Or something within you will just be telling you that is this the reason why this thing is happening? That's what we're going to be investigating today. All right. So it's going to be a real life application of the role of a data engineer. What's that role of a data engineer? Everybody says a data engineer moves data from point A to point B, from source location to destination. Well, what does that mean? It's a key question. What does it mean? All right. So if I get a job today as a data engineer, when I get there, I start moving all the data from across different regions or so whatever it is. All right. So that's exactly what we're going to be examining today, and that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. So, before I go forward here, I would also want to know, is this the first time you're joining our masterclass session? If this is the first time you are joining, I want you to put number one in the chat. So if this is the first time you're joining the session, put a one in the chat. Omar, it's good to have you on board. First time, okay. Taslim also, Dominic also. I need more people. We're getting more. So if this is your first time, just put a one in the chat. All right, quite a number of people, which is good. All right, all right, all right. So, I usually like to start especially for the newcomers, people are just joining for the first time. All right, I would like to introduce you to Analytics before we go into the practical bit of things. Okay, so Analytics essentially is an educational technology firm. Okay, and we are set out to improve. All right, and also upgrade, and also bridge the gap of Africans, transitioning into the tech space. Now, the whole idea, all right, if you do like a survey, all right now, and you ask, Africans across the world, not just Africans in Africa, but Africans really that have migrated or jackpot to other side of other parts of the country, and you ask them about starting a career, what career would they want to go into? All right, they usually would want to go into tech, all right, but they feel like tech is vague. It's a vague term. All right, it's too technical. It's for smart people. I have to be good in programming. I have to be excellent in typing. Age restrictions. There's so many limitations people tie to starting a career in tech. And that's the reason why we started analytics, to sort of bridge that gap, to educate people, to tell people that in order for you to transition into tech, to get a role, it's not as difficult. Okay, it's not as mentally difficult. It's not as strenuous. It's not as as all the limitations that you have placed on that career path. It's not like that in the real world itself. It's not like that. So it's a step-by-step process in which we have mastered, because I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. All right. And we have a pool of experts also from across the world that we have brought together to sort of help Africans, bridge that gap in starting their careers in the tech space. And that's what we do essentially. All right. So we help Africans, literally across the world, not just Africans in Africa, but Africans literally across the world. So you can see people joining from Ghana, from South Africa, from Qatar, from Canada, from the UK, from Brazil, so on and so forth. You see everywhere. All right. So the whole idea is for us to handhold more Africans and guide them into the tech space. So that's what we're doing, education. All right. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be focusing more on the data engineering aspect. So pardon me, let me just take this. All right. We're going to be focusing more on data engineering. So let's talk about, let me just do a little bit of introduction about myself, then I would ask another question. Okay. So my name is Ifemena Ipro. I am the co-founder of Analytics. Like I said, I have close to a decade experience, or over a decade experience, about a decade experience in the data ecosystem. So I've worked as a data engineer, I've worked as a data scientist, I've worked as a BI developer, I've worked as a data analyst, I've worked Power Platform. My experience has been very, 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 very diverse, I would say. HR analytics, financial analytics, I've done a bit of everything. And that's thanks to contracting work. Okay. So even in the UK or even in Canada, again, in the US, I'm not sure if they have it in the US. So they have a lot of contractors. US have more freelancers. Okay. So if you work in the UK, you've worked in Canada, and even part of the US also, you have a lot of contractors. Okay. So thankfully to contracting, all right, I get to work with diverse businesses and work different businesses, so on and so forth in the UK and the US and so on. So that's how I've been able to gather so much experience, working across different, platforms, different, job roles and so on. All right. So, um, I actually did not start my career in the data space. I started as a management consultant. So I was doing management consulting. I did management consulting for about roughly 4 years, okay, before transitioning into the tech space. So a lot of people that are looking to get started, okay, that are currently doing customer service, that are currently doing some kind of, some other career path, okay, and you're looking to transition, all right, I would definitely be able to tell you that if I can do it, okay, I can beat my chest that you also can do it. All right, and that's just not me just motivating you. I'm going to do the real life practical example today, and you get to see that this thing that you feel that feels over your head normally when people are talking about it. All right. You get to now relate better with it. And that's the reason why we're doing this masterclass sessions to sort of show you that these things that people are talking about, that you hear about people talking about big technologies. Oh, I'm building a performance data pipeline. Oh, I'm doing orchestration. Oh, I'm doing scheduling. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It feels so massive. Okay. Well, it's just terminologies for simple things. Orchestration is basically automating your pipeline. All right. It might still seem a bit weird to you, don't worry. Okay. But that's the reason why we have the masterclass, sort of to demystify all these kind of terminologies that we have in the industry. Now let's start. Let's go to something personal again. All right. How many of you want to become data engineers? And if you want to become a data engineer, why do you want to become a data engineer? So if you could just tell me yes and the reason why you want to become a data engineer. Real quick, in like 2 seconds, I'm going to do that. Okay. So you want to become a data engineer. Why do you want to become a data engineer? If it's because of the money, I'll be there with you. You're on the same line. Okay. It's just I started before you. That's the only thing. But really, we're on the same line. So why do you want to become a data engineer? Let me see. Why do you want to become a data engineer? So we don't have anybody that wants to become a data engineer. Anybody? All right, Kamoro is saying, I really want it because of the pay, which is good. All right, data engineers now are one of the highest paid in the industry. And when you're talking about industry, the tech space, all right, it cuts across software developers, it cuts across cybersecurity, it cuts across all the career paths. Data engineers are one of the highest paid career paths. And you'll see why when we do go into the real life practical example today. You'll see the reason why they're one of the highest paid. All right. So yes, I want to do more remote tech jobs. Carl, you're beautiful. That's wonderful. That's a very good point. Yes, I'm mainly to make more money to survive. All right. All right. That's good. Honestly speaking, that's good. Especially if you're abroad already. That's good. That's perfect. All right. Even if you're in Nigeria, there are quite a number of remote roles. If you're in Ghana, same thing, remote roles. And I'm going to be showing you all those parts, all the places you can get remote roles also. All right. So yes, you want to migrate, you want to play with big data. Okay, that's good. All right, to impact businesses. So in Europe, if I pronounce it properly, all right, they say that to make businesses and make money doing so, which is good. All right, make impact in the business, which is very important. Make impact. So going to be looking at how data engineers would impact the business itself, and we're going to be looking at that today. All right. So essentially, all right, that's what we're going to be looking at. All right, all the things that you talked about, majority of the things that you talked about, all of you mentioned the reasons why you want to become a data engineer is what we're going to be discussing today. How amazing is that? All right. So I've preempted, I've gone into the future to see that, oh, these are the reasons why you want to become a data engineer. And that's the reason why I prepared for this session, to be very honest with you. All right. So the first thing first, all right, we're going to be looking at a real life project. Real life project. This is a project that I personally worked on. This is not even up to, this is just about ridiculously 4 months ago. Okay. So I was on the project. Like I said, I do more of contracting work here in the UK. All right. So I get to work a lot of, very high initiatives based on projects. Okay. And this one was just something I worked on about 4 months ago. And that's the reason why I'm coming here to talk to you on how data engineers can impact businesses. All right. So real life projects on data engineering and see the role of a data engineer in an actual business. Okay. Now the next thing is, how do you not become a data engineer? Okay. So you know what a data engineer does. The next thing is you want to understand, how do I become a data engineer? What is the requirement? What are the things that are needed? What do I need to learn? How do I get started? How do I get my first job? Basically, those are the things that we're going to be looking at. Okay. The next part is, yes, I'm looking for remote opportunities. Where can I get these remote opportunities? Where do they exist? Do they even exist in the first place? We're going to be exploring that aspect. Relocation opportunities, like some of you said, okay? Relocation opportunities, I'm going to be talking about that as we go on also. Now, if you wait to the end of the session, you're going to be getting three things, okay? If you wait to the end of the session, you'll get three things from us, okay? Which is the recording of the session, first of all. Secondly, if you wait to the end of the session, you get to hear about our special offer, okay? And the third thing is the internship program. We call it the 10 Analytics Growth Internship Program. 10 Analytics Growth Internship Program, something that has helped quite a ton of people transition into the tech space. And we're going to be showing you how you can leverage it also. So three things. You're going to get the recording. All right. You get to hear about the special offer. And the third, but not the last, is the growth internship program. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. So wait till the end of the session. So in order for you to get all that, all the goodies, you get me. All right, so let's get into it. Real life project on data engineering. Does anybody want to tell me? I want to make this class interesting. We only have maximum of 2 hours to be on this call. Maximum 2 hours to be on the call. So I want us to talk. I want you to just be on your earpiece or be in a quiet environment and just listen. Honestly, let's interact. Just 2 hours. You see how much knowledge you're going to be gaining from just 2 hours of this interaction. All right. So what I want from you now is, does anybody know what a data engineer does? All right. Do you know what? If you know, put your hands up. I'm going to give you something if you answer my question today. I promise you, five, pa- 5 pounds. Okay. 5 pa. I don't know who says 5 pa, but even though it's depends on who says 5 pa. Okay. Dominic, I'm going to call you. You put your hands up. Okay. Happy. Yeah, man. All right, I'm going to give you 5 pa. Dominic, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. Tell me exactly what the role of a data engineer is.
Yes, from my good evening, everyone. From my own little knowledge, I think a data engineer specific job is to fetch data from sources. When he fetch data from sources, then he will for a data analyst or some other tech guys who want to use this data to work. Yeah, that's what I do as a data engineer.
Okay, honestly speaking, the
From different
fundamentals,
sources, yeah.
yeah, the
From different
fundamentals,
sources.
you have it covered. You have it covered 100%, 100%, which is good. So let me see. You need to raise up your hand in order for me to unmute you. I need just one more person. Dominic has done a fantastic job, answering that question. But I still need one more person to. All right, I still need one more person. Felix, I'm going to call you quickly. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself quickly, Felix. Felix, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. So a data engineer, he normally builds pipelines. Okay. By collecting the data and then cleaning the data. Okay. And then storing the data in a database whereby other stakeholders will be able to use the data, maybe to consume the data or to build APIs. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She has given another very fantastic answer. So yeah, Felix, that's absolutely fantastic. I love that answer. I'm not going to take too much because of time. All right, we just have 2 hours, so I'm just going to be going straight through. Felix, Dominic have done a very great job answering the question, which is data engineering. What do they do? Move data from one place to the other, build data infrastructure. But these technologies are so big. And once a novice, somebody has never heard of these things before, you hear all these things, they'll be like, come on, this job go hard. Yes, it is a technical role, all right? And sometimes it can actually be hard, but getting started is a key thing. A lot of people think that they need so much in order for them to get started. Okay. But that's the reason why we're having this conversation in the first place. Okay. All right. So she is also saying something very interesting. Okay. Data engineer is a field of work that involves designing, building, and maintaining the infrastructure systems necessary to collect, store, process. When somebody sees this, somebody will be like, this is a lot of work for one person. Am I going to get assistant? Will I bring my PA when I get the job? Do you understand? So yeah, it's good. I love these answers, okay? Which is very, very good. I love this. I honestly like the fact that at least the very minimum you guys understand. But anyways, if you don't understand all these technical jargon people have been talking about, I'm still going to explain it further. So don't worry. Like I said, if you mena, got you. Say it yourself, all right? If you mena, got you, okay? So just sit back, have your earpiece, and just listen to me. We're going to be having a very wonderful discussion today on the role of a data engineer, like my role in this particular business. So for this particular business, all right, I've modified the business. I've made some changes, okay? Now, the name of the business is Bikeanalytics. Okay, well, that's not the real name. Okay, so let me just give you a premise to the actual business itself, not this Bikeanalytics. I'll come back to Bikeanalytics. All right, so this business basically is a bike. They do bike hailing. Okay, so you can just go on your app and order a bike. Okay, a bicycle. All right, not a bike, a bicycle. All right, so it's not like you're really ordering for the bicycle. They have different points that you could go to order a bike, to just tap, and get a bicycle and start riding a bicycle. So rather than getting the train or rather than walking, all right, you can easily get a bicycle and cycle. Okay. So rather than taking Uber, so you're going somewhere that is about 10, 15 minutes away from you. You don't want to drive. You don't want to walk. All right. There's bicycle for you to just climb onto and cycle there. So these are like sort of new initiative, sustainability initiative that certain countries across the world are keen into. All right. So this business also launched their own service, okay, bikes for you to order your own bike. Okay. All right. And that's basically it. So Bikeanalytics is what I have modified it in order for us to understand. So this is another business initiative for people that want to, if you're a tech bro, okay, or you're a founder, you're looking to see other initiatives that you can deploy in Nigeria. It's something you could actually start. So I don't know, maybe we'll get to that. So Bikeanalytics is the name of the business. Okay. So they are starting bicycle hailing business in Nigeria. Okay. So Nigerians in Lagos State, okay. All right. We are going to have different points where people can go out and get a bicycle for them to cycle. Do you think this is possible in Lagos? Let me ask you guys. Do you think it's possible for this to work in terms of, you just go in there, order a bicycle, take a bicycle, cycle to work, you get an yes. If we have tracking, fantastic. Oh man, that's good. All right. Let me see. Yes, yes. It's done in Poland. Yes, we have in the UK, we have in Ireland. The business I actually did it for was in the UK. All right. So we have in Poland. Yes. A lot of people are very optimistic, which is good. Yes. But funny thing is that I actually learned how to ride a bicycle outside the country, not in Nigeria. Okay. I learned how to ride bicycle when I was in Ireland. Okay. So, probably you should give a lot of people that initiative to even start riding a bicycle, rather than entering down full and a pep and all this. You can actually use bicycle to just easily get to where you're going to. All right. Well, let's go into it now. Okay. Why do they need a data engineer? Why were they looking to hire the data engineer in the first place? Okay. All right. In this kind of business, and you think the focus, yes, the focus will be on the physical engineering. How would they be putting the bikes, the trackers, and all those? Yes, it's good for that. All right. But the role of a data engineer, okay, now comes to play where you're dealing with, optimizing the business. Okay. Now let's talk about this. They need what we call weather data. Weather data. Bikeanalytics, this particular business, their business is you want to ride a bicycle. You go to the point where you can get a bicycle, you tap your card, you tap your phone, whatever, you go on the app, whatever it is, and you get a bicycle and you start to ride it. Okay? All right. But now they need the weather data in order for them to optimize. And I'll tell you the meaning of optimize now. Okay. Now, the first thing is user safety. Okay. So, for most people that have lived outside the country, you know that certain liabilities occur if you're using a particular company's product, okay? A particular company's product. So user safety is of high demand. Now, first thing is adverse weather condition and route optimization. Okay, so if you're riding a bicycle, they can actually tell you, oh, it's raining, it's going to be raining in the next 30 minutes. Okay, take this route in order for you to have what they call covers. There's some places where you can have covers. Okay, so you can be riding like where there's maybe between the streets where the houses are very close to one another, and the rain is minimal. There's minimal impact on you. Alerting you when you're ordering a bike that's, this particular weather is not conducive for riding a bike, so they're going to restrict service. So if it's like in the UK, Ireland, and other countries, you have a lot of storm, not storm, mad storms, but you have a lot of wind storm where it's very difficult for you to ride a bicycle. But you will know some people will still be very adamant, okay, to say that it's just not just wind. I'll ride against the wind. I'll move. I'll be very fast. Do you understand? So in that kind of situation, you want to restrict service. So whenever there is a storm coming up, okay, or when there's a rain that just comes up from nowhere, okay, you are planning against it and you restrict service so that you reduce the number of accidents and complaints and so on and so forth. So they need weather data, okay, in order for them to make this kind of information, in order for them to make this kind of decision, okay, real time. Okay, they want to make this decision real time. Rain is going to fall in the next 2 hours. We are going to restrict services. Oh, we are going to restrict services in this aspect. Sometimes rain will be falling in Yaba, but the rain will not get to, let's say, will not get to Alabumiji. It will be raining heavily one side of Yaba, it will not be raining the other side. Or it will be raining in one side of the street, it's not raining the other side of the street. How do you know this with real-time data? Okay. Now, that's just one aspect. The business also, which is bike analytics, would also want to do fleet management. All right. So weather patterns can signify impact or availability of maintenance of bicycle. All right. They want to use for fleet management, demand forecasting. This is during the summer. Now, let me tell you this. We have a lot of bikes around my area. Okay. During summer, I can tell you there was no bicycle. You could hardly get a bicycle during summer. Okay, it was so difficult to get a bicycle for you to ride a bicycle. Why? Because everybody was outside, it is sunny, everybody wants to get a bicycle and ride a bicycle around the town, get like friends. Everybody was riding the bicycle during summer. So there was a high demand for bicycle during summer. So how do you know? You need to know as a business, all right, in order for you to know when there will be a high demand, when there will be a low demand based on the weather condition. All right. Also, strategic marketing, market analysis, product development. I'm not going to waste your time about why they need the data, but you should get it. But the most important thing, let me tell you, the most important thing for this particular project, all right, that I worked on was dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing. Now, how many of you have used Uber? Okay, and immediately you see a sign of rain. It might not be traffic, all right. Immediately there's a sign of rain. All right, the price will increase. Have you guys been in this situation before? Whereby you have seen the price 30 minutes ago. Okay, you thought the price was between 1,700 to 2,000 naira. All right, and immediately you are about to go. Okay, it gets clouded a little bit, all right? Or maybe it starts to drizzle a little. It's not even heavy. It's just, you can even run inside. You can still walk, all right? But because of that small change, you see, price will just increase. Have you guys witnessed that before? Has anybody witnessed that before? You just get an increase in price because of a change in weather. Chikwebe, Dominic, any other person? Yes, always. All right. Yes, it has happened to me. It has happened several times. So that's what we call dynamic pricing. So based on weather, okay, it will fluctuate the prices. So if it's becoming warm in this kind of scenario for a bicycle company, okay, if it gets warm, they know a lot of people want to go outside to ride their bicycle, okay, to ride a bicycle. In Nigeria, it will be the opposite because it is always hot. The moment it gets a little bit cool, all right, people want to go outside and do something fun. Do you understand? Okay. So you see, the dynamic pricing, that's the reason why they wanted this. That was like the major reason. For all other reasons are there, demand forecasting, the restriction of during adverse weather conditions and so on. But the main thing is dynamic pricing. When it's hits, okay, when the weather goes above a certain threshold, increase the price so we can make more money. But now, this weather data is not by analytics. A lot of people think that data is centered around the organization. When they say data, oh, we need data, we are looking for data. People think that data is only within the organization. All right. Oh, we need data. You think it is within the organization. All right. But whether data in this scenario is external. Like analytics does not own any weather information. All right. They need data from an external source, from an external source. All right. So you have the likes of weather.com, you have the likes of Google, you have the likes of there are different platforms that you can go to see the weather. All right. So we need to get data from this source, from these other websites or other locations, all right, and use it within our business. Now, who is this person that will go and look for this data? That's the key question. Who is this person that will go and search for the data and bring this data into the organization? That's the role of the data engineer. Okay? That's the role of the data engineer. The data engineer is the person that will go and scout for the data, to go and look for the best place they can get real-time data on, on temperature, okay, on weather, okay. So for this particular project, we're going to be doing is an actual project, okay, all right. We're going to be building a data pipeline using OpenWeather from OpenWeather. So OpenWeather I'm just going to open my browser so I can show you the place where we can. Give me a second. All right. Just going to go to OpenWeather. So OpenWeather, yeah. Okay. OpenWeather. So OpenWeather is a place where you can get data, weather data, across the world. Okay. So you see the Open Weather Map is an online service owned by OpenWeather Limited, provide global weather data via API. All right, via APIs. So you can actually just go on Weather API and you can get data for 6 weeks in advance, hourly forecast 4 days. So to tell you what's happening 4 days in advance, okay? You can see daily forecast 16 days in advance. All right. So these are external data sources. Okay. Now, ideally, this business wants to make more money. They want to make more money from, changing the price. All right. And it's not just bike analytics. It's not just bicycle that uses this. It's not just ride aiding services. It's not just Uber that will do this. Hotel, Airbnb, these guys use it a lot. Only Nigeria, where you have like a standard fee. Okay. It's only in Nigeria you would get like your standard fees. If you're ordering online, hotel, Airbnbs outside the country, immediately there's a change in the weather. Okay, there's a change in weather. The price changes. The price changes immediately. The time of the day, the weather, all these things. If rain is falling, Uber, everything, hotel, everything increases in price. All right. And that's just basically them trying to make the most, because at that point in time, you don't have a choice. All right. Or is it like you want to stay wet, okay, or get a place comfortable for you to just even stay dry and everything else, okay? So you see, there are quite a number of organizations that use this weather information to make informed decisions, to make more money. All right. These are ways you can optimize your business to make more money. All right. So we're going to be using this. This is the size we're going to be using. All right. So they have the weather API in order for you to, get daily, hourly information. All right. So this one you can even go 16 days into the future. Okay. You can go 16 days into the future. You can even have climatic forecast 30 days. All right. Well, I'm just going to be using the daily forecast for 16 days. So I'm going to be going 10 days into the future to see what the trend of the temperature is going to be like. So we can see how we can increase our price, okay, small, and make more money. Do you guys understand why we are doing why we are doing what we are doing? If you understand, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. All right. If you understand what we are trying to do at this point in time, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. All right. So I have just okay. We're going to be using the chat a lot so I can understand where we are going. Okay. So Bioanalytics, all right, let me just go back to my slide. So they want to build so they've told the data engineer that we need weather information, all right? So that when somebody is going on the bike that wants to order a bike, okay, or wants to get a bicycle, okay, price should not be the same thing. It shouldn't be 10 pounds. It should be 5 naira or 10 naira per minute. Immediately there's rain, all right, we should reduce it. Immediately there's sun, let's increase the price. Whatever the scenario is, all right, we want to make decisions on pricing based on the weather, dynamic pricing. All right. So the first thing we're going to be using for this project today, we're going to be using Python. Okay, we're going to be using Python. So Python is the preferred language, okay, open source programming language that most data engineer, every data engineer would use. Okay, so they will use Python, and the database structure we're going to be using is PostgreSQL. We're going to be working with PostgreSQL, and the place where we're going to be getting the weather information is OpenWeather. All right. So I've made it easy for you. I'm not requiring you to do anything in this class. I just want you to listen. Literally, all I need you to do is listen. So we have Anaconda. The video is there for you to download. I have a video there. So you will see here, click here to watch. Once you get the recording, click there. It takes you to a video on how you can download and install Anaconda. The other one for PostgreSQL, it will also take you to a YouTube video I have created on how you can download and install PostgreSQL, and also how to create an account. It takes you to the website on how to create an account. So if you go to the OpenWeather, okay, all you need to do is create an account. You need to create an account. So once you create an account, the only thing that is required is just an email, okay, literally. So if you have an email, you can easily just register. It's very straightforward. All right. So once you register, they will give you an API key. I'm not going to share that, it's not public information. So they'll give you they'll give you an API key, all right, that you're going to use in order for you to extract the data that you need. All right. So, all right, in order for you to extract the data that you need. Okay. So what we are trying to do, I'm going to summarize before I go into the practical bit of it. Okay. So what we're trying to do is Bioanalytics is launching a ride hailing service. Bicycle, where you can order a bicycle. So they are launching in Nigeria. Okay. They're launching in Nigeria. Okay. And they want to incorporate dynamic pricing. Okay, these are the list of things that they want to do. Well, first of all, they're very important. The one thing they are very keen on is dynamic pricing. So when you want to order a bicycle, they shouldn't be like a flat out price range. It shouldn't be 10 naira per minute. It should be 15 naira per minute. That amount should be based on the weather. So if the weather increases, price should increase. If the weather reduces, price should also reduce. Do you understand those kind of things? So those are the things that we want to implement, and we need weather data. Hence the reason why we are gathering data. We want to get data from this source, OpenWeather, and bring it into the organization in order for us to make decisions on pricing. It's as simple as that. So we're going to be using Python, like I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to open up my Python notebook. All right. If you've never used Python before, don't worry. It's not something too technical also. Okay. We'll teach you everything. Literally, that's our job. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open up Python. So this is how Python looks like. This is the home page. Once you download and install Python, this is how it's going to look like. Okay. So I'm going to open a new notebook. All right. I'm going to open a new notebook. Like I said, all I want you to do is just listen. When you get the recording, you'll get to work on these things yourself. All right. So we have a very simple project we want to work on. It's simple, but not simple, but I'll make it as basic as possible so you understand what we are doing today. All right. So the first thing you want to do as a data engineer in this kind of scenario the first thing we want to do is import our library. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is import the libraries we're going to work with. Import libraries. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is import libraries. Python, as a programming language, has a lot of libraries. So these libraries allows you to do so much in Python. All right. And that's the reason why a data scientist would use Python for machine learning. So they have different libraries they would use for machine learning. All right. All right. A web developer, all right, would also use their own libraries in order for them to build a website using Python. All right. We as data engineers, okay, would also use another set of libraries to do data engineering activities. All right. So you see, it's just like it's just like a, I don't know, it's just like it's a platform that allows you to do so much using different libraries. All right. So I'm just gonna, I'm not going to be typing because we just have 2 hours to be on the call. So what I'll be doing is I'll just be getting the data points. I'd already done the project, so I'm just going to be showing you what you need to know. Okay. So these are the libraries that we're going to be, I'm also going to share this book, the notebook with you, so you see exactly what you're doing. Okay. All right. So these are the libraries we're going to be using. The first one is JSON. Okay. JSON. All right. We're going to be using request. So request is basically in order for you to communicate with the website. Okay. In order for you to open a communication with the website, HTTP request. All right. Pandas is used for data manipulation, data analysis, data wrangling, so on and so forth. So we're going to be using pandas. All right. Datetime, in order for you to work with datetime. And because we are trying to get information that happens on a daily basis. So we're looking at weather information today, 9 o'clock. This is 8:40. So we're going to be working with timing. So at what time does the weather change? So that's why we need date time in order for us to work with date time data. All right. Another thing we're needing is matplotlib, okay, which is for data visualization. And we use Seaborn also for data visualization. So we're going to be using these two libraries for data visualization. So if you're just getting started in Python, don't worry, it might look like it's a lot, but these are very, very basic stuff, okay, for you to get started, just more libraries. So I'm going to run that, okay? Those are the libraries that we're going to be working with, okay? So I will need to bring in a little bit of, I need to bring in my API key, and I don't want it to be I don't want it to be public. So I'm just going to move this aside just because of my API key. So I am going to put that somewhere. Okay. Sorry, just give me a second. I don't want it to show out there. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. So now the next thing we're going to be working on is the next thing we're going to be starting with is to get the data from the API. All right. The next thing we're going to be doing now is to extract the data or get the data. Let's just get. Okay. Get the data. All right. The weather data from the API. From the API. So this weather data, they have what we call APIs. Okay. So once you click on it, if I click on API doc, all right, it will tell you it will show you how to do it. So you see it here. The product concept, the whole essence of this daily forecast basically is daily forecast, 16 days is available at any location on the globe. Any location on the globe. Do you know how massive the data is in order for you to get data literally anywhere across the globe? All right. So this particular business now, we're using it in Lagos. They're launching in Lagos. So we need to get at least 10 days in advance. We want to see the weather, what the weather is going to be like 10 days in advance. Like I mentioned earlier, data, when they're talking about data is not just when a business is working. Okay, what a data engineer does is not just data within the organization. You could also get data from external sources like this weather data. All right. So you see, daily forecast, 60 days is available at any location on the globe. The forecast include daily weather data, and the response data is available in JSON or XML formats. So these are just data formats that we're going to be working with. Okay. All right. So, anyways, we need the data, the weather data for Lagos State. Okay. So that's what we need to do. We need to get the data. Lagos. Let me just put Lagos there. So it could be Ghana, it could be Sierra Leone, it could be Qatar, it could be Portugal, it could be anywhere. But today we are going to be working with Lagos, Nigeria. All right. All right. From the API. So that's what we want to do now. Okay. So I'm going to start with API key. API, my API key. All right. Let me just say API key. Okay. Equals to so I've given my own name already. So I'm just going to say API key. All right. Then I'll copy the rest of this down. Okay. So this is the site itself. Okay. This is the site itself. Okay, so this is just me getting the data from the API. Don't worry, like I said, this is just me providing like a base knowledge for you to understand what a data engineer does. So this is what they call API. Okay, so the API is on the website already. So all I need to do is to get the data from the API and bring it into my own organization. Okay, so the data currently is in OpenWeather. Okay, so they have the data in OpenWeather. Now, I need to connect, first of all, I need to be able to establish a connection with OpenWeather. So this is exactly what I have done here. This is the establishment. So I need an API key. And that's the key. They've given me my own key. Okay. They've given me a key in order for me to open the data source. Okay. And that's the key. No, that's my key. That's the key that I provided here. The city I want is Lagos, Nigeria. I need data on Lagos, Nigeria. Okay. Now this is the URL, okay, that will allow me to access that web, not the API itself. Okay. All right. So I need 240 hours. That is 10 days forecast. I just need 10 days in the future. If I want 16 days, I have access to 16 days, but I just need 10 days. Okay. So I will just start with 10 days. You could do 5 days, you could do 2 days, depending on what you want. All right. Somebody say, can I bold in it? So let me zoom in a bit more. I think this is the most I can actually go. Apologies. Okay. Dominic, I hope this is okay for you. Okay. So we're looking at Lagos State. If in your own scenario, if you're going to be working with Ghana data, or you're working with Accra, you're working with any form of other data that you want to work with, you could always just specify the city and you're good to go. Now I'm going to run this, okay, and use sorry, let me just see what I've done here. URL. Okay. Sorry, just give me a second. Just confirm. All right, so that's it. Okay, corrected it. So now let me show you the data already. The data currently is here with us already. The data is within Python. I've extracted the data. All right. And you see, this process is called what we call, let me bring out my pen. So I'll be explaining some certain concepts for you to understand better. So this process is called ETL. They call this ETL. Does anybody know what ETL stands for? Let me see. Does anybody know what ETL stands for? Yes. Can you tell me? Can you provide the meaning? That's my pen. I need annotation. Okay. Okay, ETL, extract, transform, and load. Can't seem to bring up my pen. Don't know why. Sorry. All right, so ETL stands for, let me just get like a blank space, okay, so I can write, okay. So this process is called ETL, E, T, and L. So E is the first thing we've done, what we just done, okay? What we have done at this point in time is what we call extraction. What we have done here is the extraction. So we have connected to the API, and we have extracted the data that we wanted from the API. This is literally the extraction process. So when somebody's talking to you that, oh, I need to extract data from this web source, and we need to connect your webs into an API to extract data from the API, this is basically somewhat of what they would do. All right, where they have the API key, they have information, and they have the API login and all that. Okay. So they've done this. This is the extraction process. Now let me show you. Let me show you that we've gotten the data. Let me show you that we have extracted the data from OpenWeather. Let me show you that we've extracted it. So I'm going to say data equals to response. This response that we have here. All right. Response dot JSON. So they already told you already from the onset that what the format includes daily weather data, and the response data is available in JSON format, JSON or XML format. So currently it's in JSON. So I'm going to say response JSON, okay? And I'm going to say JSON underscore str equals to, I'm just going to explain to you that the data is here already. All right, DOMS, we are passing data and indent equals to 4. All right. Last but not the least, I'm going to print JSON underscore str. All right. So this is the data. This extraction process we just did. Okay. The first phase, which is the extraction process. This extraction. So we connected to the API, to this API weather data, and we extracted weather information on Lagos State. So this data has any location across the globe, but we're only interested in Lagos State because the business by Analytics is based in Lagos. So we connected to the API, requested for only Lagos data for the next what? For the next 10 days. Okay? For the next 10 days. So this is the data. So you'll see it here. All right? So this is the date time. DT stands for date time. Date time. So you see that this thing, it's not correct. It doesn't, does anybody know the time? When you look at this now, does this look like an actual time to you? All right. Does this look like an actual time? All right. This doesn't look like an actual time. Okay. And that's because, okay, it's calculating it in numerical format. So it's not looking at it as 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Okay. You need to convert it to yourself. You need to convert it yourself. Now, that's the T. That's the T. This transformation. All right. So you've extracted the data. Extraction is the first phase. Extraction is number 1. Number 2 is transformation. Now the data is coming in as a number. Time. The date time is coming in as a number. How do you convert it? How do you transform that number to an actual date and time? So that's the transformation. So when you say a data engineer, extracts data, moves data from one location, transform data, builds the data pipeline and all that, this is exactly what they are doing. So connected to the data this is the data, okay? So this is the time. You can see the temperature currently is 300. So based on information from the data, they will provide all those information for you, all right? Just because of time, I may not be able to go through in depth of that. So all these things, you will need to convert it. If you're using Fahrenheit, for example, the guys in Canada, the US, they like to use Fahrenheit, okay? Or if you're down in Europe or in Nigeria, you use degrees Celsius. Currently, this is in Kelvin, okay? They call it Kelvin, all right? Feels like also in Kelvin. Temperature in minutes, temperature, maximum, pressure, sea level, ground level, all this information about temperature, weather information in Lagos State, but based on the time. All right. So you have weather, okay? So you can see the cloud, if there's wind, visibility, all these things. And you can see it's time information, base time information. So this is what we call a JSON data point. This is JSON. This is what we call JSON. So JSON basically is what we call JSON. All right. JSON is what they call semi-structured data. So a JSON file is semi-structured. They call it semi-structured. So it is not structured and it is not unstructured. It's in the middle. It is semi-structured. So it is not structured. It is not unstructured. It's literally just sitting down in the middle. So structured data is basically any data that is in a table. Okay, any data, a structured data is any data that is in a table. All right. So where you have rows and column, where you have rows and column, that's a structured data. Unstructured, all right. Unstructured data is any data that is not in tabular format. All right. Unstructured data is any data that is not in a tabular format. Take, for example, a picture. A picture like this guy typing, this GIF that you see here is unstructured. You can't take this picture and put it inside a table. All right. You can't take an audio file, okay, and put it inside a table or a table, rows and column. You can't take, Twitter data, you can't put it into rows and data. A video, the video you're doing on Instagram that you post on Instagram, you post on Twitter, or you post on Snapchat, you can't take that video and put it on in a tabular format. All right. So that's exactly what unstructured data is. So you have structured, which is in a table. You have unstructured, which cannot be put in a table. And you have in the middle semi-structured, which is a perfect example is a JSON file. All right. All right, which is a JSON file. Okay. So it looks structured. You'll see it is arranged. It is arranged. It's not in a table format, but it is arranged. Okay. So this is what we call a semi-structured data. Now, so you see the first phase is extraction. We've extracted the data from OpenWeather. The second phase is the transformation phase, where we have to transform the data. Now, let me just quickly do that, okay? Like I said, this is just me showing you what a data engineer would do, okay? So you don't have to be an expert in this, all right? It's just for you to listen and just understand the process of what we're doing, all right? Really, that's all I'm talking about. You don't have to understand how to use a JSON file, how to write Python, and this. You're just starting. We'll teach you all that as we go on. Okay. All right. So, so like I said, the temperature would need to convert it. Okay, we need to convert it from Kelvin to Celsius. So I have created a function. All right. So I've created a function. Create a function to convert. All right, to convert temperature from Kelvin to Celsius. Okay. So this is the function I would use to convert the temperature that was in Kelvin into degrees Celsius. And don't forget, we have date time that would help us to work with date time. So you'll see how I'm going to use it real quick. Okay. So like I said, this is just me showing you top-on knowledge of what a data engineer would do. So you see, we're using a lot of Python. All right. And that's because Python is open. First of all, Python is open source, allows you to connect to different sources, allows you to pull data from different sources for transformation, so on and so forth. All right. So you're going to be using Python a lot as a data engineer. All right. So with the data that we have here, with the data that has been extracted, this data here, I showed you the data, it was in JSON format. It was in JSON format, and I showed you the JSON format. Okay. So what I have done now, okay, what this piece of code has done is to transform the data from JSON into a table. All right. So you see, it was in JSON format and it was unstructured. It was unstructured. So if I just let me show you that JSON format again, so you see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So you see the JSON format. All right. This is how it looks like, but you can't do any form of analysis with this at this point in time. You can't do any form of analysis with this. So we need to convert it into a table. All right. And that is what this piece of code will do for me. All right. So don't worry, it looks like a lot of code, but trust me, it's very easy to learn, very easy to work with. And you see, that's why we have, very good testimonials, people transitioning. So you see this code, all right, when I run this piece of code, okay, it's going to convert this JSON format. You see it here, the date, this date that was in numbers before, that's the first thing I transformed. You see it? I transformed that date, okay? I transformed it into what? Timestamp. All right, into a timestamp. Okay, date time you to see from timestamp. So it's going to convert this particular number into a date. See the date here. So today is what? 1st of October, 2023. This is 9 o'clock. So I connected to the API and I told the API to give me data, hourly data for, from today, from currently, from now till 10 days into the future. So the information that I have here is from now to the 10 days in the future. All right. So, you see everything that was in JSON format before has been transformed into a table. So that's the daytime, the temperature. All right. I converted it, from Kelvin to Celsius. All right. So feels like also transforming from Kelvin to Celsius. All right. So that's exactly what I have transformed. Okay. And you see it here, the daytime temperature, feels like stamp, pressure, everything from that API source. I've transformed it from a JSON format, from this JSON format to a tabular format. That's a data scientist, a data analyst will now start to do the analysis and visualization and all those things. Initially, this data did not exist in the organization. Now, this data pipeline these guys are always talking about is basically very simple. This table that you see here, that you're seeing here currently was in an API, all right, was existing in OpenWeather. Okay, the business requires to say that we want to be increasing our price whenever whenever the weather goes up or goes down. We want to be able to be doing, flexible dynamic pricing. So we need weather information. We need weather data to make this kind of decision. All right. Now, it's not a data analyst job to be looking for data up and down. It's not a data scientist job to start searching around to see where they get where they get the data. They need a data engineer. And that's what my role was in this particular project. How can I get weather data from a data source from a place like OpenWeather and bring it into the organization? So this is the first location. This is the source. This is the source, okay, where the data exists. Now I need to bring it into my organization. That is exactly what I've done. So that process is called ETL. So I extracted the data first. That was the extraction process. This is the extraction process. Connect to the source and extract the data. Now, the next thing, the data was coming in as a JSON format. Okay, it was coming in as JSON format. All right. So I need to transform the data. That's the next phase. I need to transform the data. Nobody's going to work with this kind of data. If I send this data to a data analyst that is using Power BI, they will run away. They will quit the next day. You understand? So nobody's going to make sense of this data. Yeah, some data scientists will know how to work with JSON files and all that, okay? Or data analysts and other, but that's not their job. Their job is to work to build machine learning models, forecasting models, and all that, okay? So they should get clean data. So my job as a data scientist is to ensure that the data is clean and transformed properly in order for them to do their job perfectly. So that's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so I've gone to get the data, I have transformed the data. Okay, now let's do a little bit of analysis. Let's just do a small analysis, okay, so that you would see the role of a data engineer. Okay, so let's do a little bit of df.info. Okay, so this one will just give you a descriptive information about the data, descriptive information about the data. So you see it here, we have 11 columns in our data, 11 columns, 12 columns, sorry, 12 columns. So you see it here, total of 12 columns in our data. So we have 40 rows of data, 12 columns, okay? And you can see everything is there. So we have date time, we can get the temperature. Whenever it's outside the country, I got to see there's a difference between the actual temperature and what it feels like. So the temperature, you see now, the temperature in Lagos as of now, as at 9 o'clock, okay? As at 9 o'clock, the temperature was 27 degrees. 27 degrees, that's the actual temperature. But it feels like 30. Okay, you might think it's 27, okay, 27 degrees, but it feels like 30 degrees. So Lagos has to be very hot, man. Hell, let me see. Let me just go on Lagos. Lagos weather. Okay, let me see. You see, currently you have it here. It's between 27 to 20. I'm going to click on Sunday. This is from weather.com. So this is another place where you can get data on weather information. So I'm going to click on hourly. Okay, the next 48 hours. All right. So let me see. As this is already showing me from 10 o'clock, so I can't go back to 9 o'clock. But anyways, you can see it here. This is 22 degree. From 10 o'clock, it's going to be 22 degrees. This is from another data source, but you see it there. So this from this one, the study meter is from 10 o'clock. Let me say 10 o'clock. This is first. This is second. All right, this is moving to the second by 12 o'clock. So it's every 3 hours. It's giving me data every 3 hours. So by 12 midnight, it's going to drop to 26 degrees. By 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's going to be 25 degrees Celsius. By 6 a.m. tomorrow, it's going to be 24. More. Lagos is hot. 24 degree in the morning. That is very, very hot. I think that's hot. If we get that in the UK, even though the UK gets really hot sometimes, but 24 degree early in the morning, it's not, I don't know, it's not conducive. Anyways, but that's just the way it is. But you see it here, you can see the weather, it is cloudy, it's going to rain. Okay, it's going to rain. There's a chance of rain. Rain, light rain. But you see all this information now, it's not at the beck and call of Bike Analytics now they have this information within the organization. All right. So let's take a look at something. All right. So I want to do, base time transformation, a little bit of base time transformation. All right. So I'm going to show you something real quick. The codes I've done the codes down already, so you might feel like taking out somewhere, okay? But I've done the code, and if I say I should put you all through the code, it will take your time for you to understand. It might just take me too much time to even explain every piece of code, okay? But don't worry, it's something you can always learn. It's something you can learn. All right. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is very simple, okay? What I'm trying to do at the moment is very simple. I want to see the trend of temperature, in the next 10 days in Lagos State. That's what I want to try to do. All right. So that's what I want to try to do. And that's the reason why you would see, let me just get the average temperature over time. So you see exactly what I'm doing. All right. So this one will give me the average temperature. And when I visualize it, you'd see exactly what I'm doing now. Okay. All right. So this code here will visualize for me. All right. So you see, this is my code. Let me increase the size a bit. Let me give it to maybe 4. All right, 10 by 4. Okay, yes. So this is it here. So this code that I've done here, okay, the code I have done here, okay, is going to give me the code I've done here is going to give me pivot by day and hour. Anyways, I'm coming back to that. This is going to give me the average temperature. This particular line of code is going to give me the average temperature all through that 10 days. What is the average temperature for the next 10 days? All right. So now I can easily see now that, on average, the weather is going to range, on average, for the next 10 days, the weather is going to be 26 degrees Celsius, right? 26 degrees Celsius. So now you can see how the temperature dips to 24 degrees, okay? And it increases, all right, maybe in the afternoon, it drops in the evening, increases in the afternoon, it drops. But you see, the afternoon increase is not the same thing every time. Sometimes it increases above 30 degrees. Sometimes it's about 29. Sometimes it's not up to 30, and so on and so forth. But the average is 26 degrees. So in this kind of situation, now I can see in the next 10 days, whenever the temperature goes above the average, that average is 26 degrees Celsius, will reduce the price. All right. Or when it goes above 26 degrees, increase the price. It could be anything. It might, I don't, depending on, that's where the data scientists, the data analysts would need to look at trend of what has been happening. When the people order more for bicycle, is it when the weather is hot or when it is cold? Like I said at the start of class, during summer in the UK, there was no bicycle anywhere. You couldn't get a bicycle because people were always ordering people always had bicycle because it was warm. Everybody wanted to be outside with a t-shirt, with shorts, with your sneakers and just ride bicycles, feel the wind, inside your body and all that. All right. But during winter, you won't get a lot of people riding bicycle. All right. So in Nigeria, it might be the opposite. You might want to ride bicycle to avoid fuel prices. So you just want to ride a bicycle. So you need to do your analysis in order for you to make informed decision. All right. But this is now we have this weather data internal to the organization in order for us to make such kind of decision. All right. But now I can't see this by hour just yet. I can't see this. This thing is just showing me a trend by the day. It's not showing me by the hour. All right. So I'm just going to quickly show you that by the hour. All right. And boom, this one is going to show you by the hour. Okay. I did an heat map. So whenever it is going, the hottest is 30 degrees. Looking at the next 10 days, the hottest is going to just slightly be above 20 degrees. So the higher it goes, the blue, the thicker the blue, all right, the blue color. So looking at what we have here, this is 9 o'clock, all right? It's every 3 hours, okay? Sorry, can you guys hear me well? All right. Can you guys hear me well? Sorry. Benga, just confirm if you can hear me very well, please.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
All right, thank you. That's fine. All right. So this is the code for us to do. So we're using the heat map. We're using Seaborn for this. All right. And that's the reason why we brought in those libraries at the start of the session. Okay. Seaborn. So we connected to the data source. We did all those transformation and so on. And now we are now doing a little bit of analysis in Lagos State. And we can see that the weather is between just a bit below 24 degrees. That's the least it will go. Then the highest is just a little bit above 30 degrees. So you see the concentration of heat now. I can see the concentration of heat, all right, between 9 a.m. in the morning, okay, to 3 p.m. That's where you get a lot of heat concentration. So from 6 to the evening to midnight, you don't have a lot of, heat concentration, all right, only this night, okay? So you guys in Lagos State, it's likely going to be hot this night with 26 degrees, okay? 26 degrees, then it's going to become 25 by 3 p.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, then 6 a.m. in the morning, it reduces back to 24 degrees, okay? So, but you see in the afternoon, all right, the peak in the next 10 days is going to be tomorrow. That's 30 degrees tomorrow, all right? 30.5 actually. So this is basically the heat map now that you could use to do a trend to look at, oh, this is when there's going to be a spike. This is when there's going to be a reduction. So the data gives you permission to get 16 days into the future. So you can even plan better. 16, imagine having, you know what the weather is going to be like in the next 16 days. And this is changing, okay? These things, it can change, weather can change. All right. So the forecast right now might be 30 degrees. All right. But you see, inside that 30 degrees, even inside this 30 degree, you see there's still a chance of rain. All right. So you see, this is 30, you feel 27 degree, but it's currently cloudy and broken clouds. Okay. So tomorrow there's a chance of rain. All right. Weather description, light rain. So it might drizzle a little bit in Lagos tomorrow. Do you understand? So, well, it could change. And that's the reason why, this data has to be gotten maybe every hour or every 3 hours or every day. You're updating your data every single day. So you're always, in tune with the changes. You're always in tune with the changes. All right. This thing can change. So you want to be always getting the data as frequently as possible so that your data is always up to date. Your data is always up to date with what's happening. So that's why you need to automate it. All right. You don't have to be running it manually, everything by yourself. All right. You don't have to be running manually. All right. Running this thing manually every single time by yourself. All right. And that's the reason why you need to automate it. You need to automate your data pipeline. And that's what they call orchestration scheduling. So basically, it's to automate it. So if you want this thing to run every morning by 9 o'clock, okay, so you can have information for that day. Okay, fine, beautiful. You can schedule it to run at 9 o'clock every single day of the week, Monday to Sunday. All right, you could do that. All right. If you wanted to run every 3 hours, every 4 hours, every 6 hours, all right, that's also very fine. If you wanted to run once a week, that's also very good. Do you understand? So it varies. And that's what they call orchestration and scheduling. So the best one you could use that is open source also is Airflow, Apache Airflow, in order for you to orchestrate and automate your data pipeline. Now, this pipeline that people are always talking about is not literally a pipe, okay? It's just you connecting to the source and dragging data and pulling data. That's what they call the pipeline. So I'm connected to Open Data, OpenWeather, okay? And I'm building the pipeline to move data from that source into my own organization. All right. So basically, this is just we doing a little bit of analysis, visualization, so you see how it works. Okay. So that's data. That's literally let me see if you guys can see my screen work. Yes, sorry. All right. So that's basically data. This is data. This is still we've only done data extraction and transformation. All right. We've only done 1 and 2. Okay, we've only done 1 and 2. We've only extracted and we have transformed. The last thing is to load the data. Number 3. Number 3 is to load. ETL, extract, transform, and load. So now the last thing we need to do is to load the data into the database. All right. So let me show you what a PostgreSQL database looks like. All right. So I'm going to show you real quick. So this is a Postgres database. This is a Postgres database, okay? This is on-premise anyways. This is what people refer to as on-premise, meaning that it is running on my local system, all right? It's running on my local system, okay? It's using my laptop as a database. Do you understand? Okay? The way you can buy a flash drive, all right? And you can put a flash drive inside your friend's laptop and extract and send movies to your flash drive. It's sort of like that, okay? But now this is on-premise. You have cloud whereby you can save to the cloud, save that data to the cloud. You have the likes of AWS, you have the likes of Azure, you have the likes of GCP, Google Cloud Platform, all right? So when you have the Google queries, you have Azure Data Factory, you have what do you call it? You have AWS Redshift or the web the data warehouse, which is skipping my head down. You have Redshift and S3 bucket, which is the data lake. Okay. Anyways, that's it. But this particular we're going to be dealing with today is Postgres. Okay, so this is an on-premise data database, data warehouse system that we could use. So now, currently this data is still in my pipeline. Okay, it's still on my Google. It's still on my what do you call it? It's still on my Python script, okay? So I will need to move this data from where it is currently, I'll need to move this data from here into the database for safekeeping, all right? For safekeeping and also for people to have access to it, okay? For safekeeping and also for people to have access to the data, all right? So I've tried this. Let me just remove this and I'll show you how to do it now. Okay, so I've removed it. I tried it earlier just to be sure everything is going to work out. All right, so you see there's nothing in my table just yet. There is no table. All right, there's no data in my database at this point in time. No data in my database. So now that I've extracted the data, I have transformed the data. Data engineers are not going to be doing data analysis, data visualizations, and all that. All right. You would learn it, okay, but that's not your key. That's not your job. Okay. It's the role of the data analyst, the data scientist to do your visualization, descriptive, diagnostic analytics. All those analytics is the data scientist and the data analyst. You, as a data engineer, you just need to have the data available for them to do those analysis. You need to clean it up, you need to transform it in order for them to use the data. Now, you need to make this data available for them. And the best way is to put it in a data warehouse. Okay? The best place to put it in is to put it in a data warehouse. We are using PostgreSQL, all right, to do that. So let me just quickly show you how to do that in just a few steps. All right. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to import my libraries. Okay. Sorry. Like I said, done this already. So I'm just going to be copying and pasting them. So these are the libraries we're going to be working with: Pandas, PyCyclePG2, all right, for connecting to the Postgres database in order for you to connect to the Postgres database. And that's what we're going to be working with. Okay. So database credentials, okay? database credentials, I'll need my database username, password, and all that. So because of password, I don't want you guys to see my password. I will need to just go off for a few seconds so I don't have you know my password. Okay, so just give me a second. I just need to take it down below so that you don't get to see my password. All right. So a lot of you might be thinking my password is password. This password here is a variable, so you can't see it. Don't worry. All right. So yes, so this is my database credentials. So this is my database username. This is my database password, my database host, and the ports and the database name. So if you look at this information, the information currently is already available on my database. So if I click on properties, all the information is there already. Okay, so so the owner, everything is available for you. So sorry, I need to take that out. All right, so everything is available and all you need to do is just to get the information out. All right. So database name is Postgres, the owner is Postgres, every information is on the database already. So that's the reason why I'm just using all the information provided. So the username, the password, everything is available. So once you go through the installation process I talked about at the start, you'll be able to do this yourself. Well, more or less like I will say it again, it's not for you to understand all this code. It's for you to understand the fundamental. All right. So what we are doing. Okay. So this is to create a connection. Okay. So I'm going to run this first. I'll run this. Okay. And last but not the least, this is the loading. This is how we now load load the data. All right. So we'll load the data. First of all, I need to create a table. Let me create a table real quick. Okay. So I'll come here and you see inside my table, there's no table currently. There's no data essentially. I'll create a table. I'll call it weather data. Okay, weather data. That's what I'll call it. I'll copy that name and save. So it's weather data. That's the name of the table, weather data. So the name of the table, I called it weather data. Okay. So it's going to load the data into that table that we created, into this table. So currently, if I check the table, if I view all rows of that table, you will see it is empty, zero, nothing is there, it's empty. So if I run this code now, it's going to load that data, all the data in the table, all the data in the table is going to load all that data into the database. Now, if I do that same, I'm going to refresh one more time. I'm going to refresh just to show run and view. Okay, all rows. Now, you see, the data now exists. The data that was in Python initially, that was not even in Python, that was in OpenWeather. The weather information that was in OpenWeather, okay? All right, I extracted that data, I transformed it, and what did I do? I loaded it into the database, all right, into the database. So now the data is now inside the database. All right, the data now exists within the database. So you can see it here. All right, you can see it here. This is the data now inside the database. Now let's do some SQL. Let's do a little bit of SQL. All right, query tool. Okay, so I'm going to say select star. Okay, just what we just did from weather data. All right, and I'm going to run it. So this is rewriting SQL now. So, and this is the reason why you have to be good with SQL. All right, you have to be very good with SQL. Sorry, just give me a second. Right. So you see it here. So select star from weather data. The name of the table is weather data. So that's basically saying that select everything from weather data. So if I say select everything, so I want to see the time whereby it will be raining. So I could say select everything from weather weather, okay, data, where weather equals to raining. All right. So it equals to rain. So I want to know the time period where it's going to rain in Lagos State. I could run that also, and it's going to give me a quick brief error. So weather doesn't exist. Let me just confirm what I have there. That is column data weather. Let me see what I called it. All right, equals to rain. Okay, so just the double quotation mark. Let me just here we go, quotation mark. Okay. Okay, so I think there's a problem with the way my data is structured. It's not capital. Let me see that I'm spelling it correctly. Okay. Okay, let me see. Where weather equals to rain. Okay, I think I'll just have to look at that again one more time. It must run, no? Yeah, sometimes because and probably there's a maybe there's a way, maybe there's a particular issue with the way the name is spelled. Maybe there's a white space somewhere. All right. Weather. It's the same way it's spelled. Okay. All right. Anyways, that's what you just wrote sequels, and sometimes this could embarrass, it could just go on, but it was the main reason for itself. So weather data. So let me even say what the error is. I understand one more time. It's just perhaps you meant to reference weather data dot weather. Okay, let me just try that. So weather data dot weather. So, but that's the more reason why. All right, you know what? I think it's just the way that I had structured the data. And those are the kind of errors you get to work with and you deal with as a data engineer, just ensuring that the data is readily available for consumption and working along with. All right, so anyways, that's basically the entire process of what we're doing today or what we intended to do. So just to break it down again one more time, okay? Go back to the slide. Okay. So you have Vitalytics that is launching in Nigeria. Okay. And they want to do what they want to. They're launching in Nigeria, but the key thing for them is dynamic pricing. They want to be able to be the one to determine based on the weather to be able to be flexible with their pricing. Now, weather information is not it's not a data that is available within the organization. All right. So Bacalytics is not a weather company. Okay. So you have a weather company called OpenWeather that stores weather information from across the entire world. All right. So they have what daily forecast 16 days is available for at any location on the globe. All right. So these are the things that you have as a record for. So the data engineer is the one that builds a data pipeline that would connect to this data, to the API, to the OpenWeather API, extract the data. That's the first step, this extraction process, transform the data from JSON format, transform the column, transform the structure, transform, do all the analysis and all that, the transformation, the cleaning up and all that. All right. And convert it into a structured data. All right. After confirming it's in a structured data, it's ready for consumption. The data engineer then loads it into a database, loads it into a database. And that's the database I showed you just now. All right. So this is the database. Now the data analyst can connect to this weather source. The data scientist can connect to the database because the database is available for them. All right. So that's exactly what we are. That's exactly what we. So if you learn something different today, let me know, guys, please. Okay, API basically stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay, so a very, very good example is if you go on, take for example, let me say Jumia. Let me use Jumia because all of we are majorly Africans on the call. Okay, so I go on Jumia and I go to electronics. Okay, you see, all right, and I click on see all electronics and I scroll down. Okay, all right, I scroll down. You see, I could this the product has not ended. All right, there's still more data. There's still more products. Okay, so if I click on two, it takes me to it goes to an API source and fetches new data. All right, so you can see you have what 400, a bit 40,000 products. Okay, so this data exists somewhere. So whenever you need it, all right, it goes fetch more data. So there are so many use cases that you could actually use it. The same thing with Instagram. All right. So if you go on Twitter, for example, or Instagram, you can easily refresh and you'll see the most recent or the most available content for you to consume. You go on YouTube, you click on refresh, you see it refreshed and gives you new information different from what you were seeing 2 seconds ago. So it's an API that does that. Okay. So basically, that's basically what we're talking about. So the API stores the data. Okay. You can easily walk around it to get the information that you need. All right. So yes. Okay. So if you learn something new, okay, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. If you learn something different from I don't want to complete that. But if you learn something different, okay, you learn something new today to the role of a data engineer, all right, and looking at the practicality, all right, of how a data engineer can make impact to the business. Now, dynamic pricing would definitely increase the price, increase profitability of the organization big time. But if they can determine when they can increase their price, all right, in order for them to make more money, it's perfect. It's not just ride-hailing services that use this, hotel, okay? Hotel businesses, Airbnb, like likes of hotel, Airbnb, they all use this in order for them to make as much money as possible. All right. So this is just a typical example, a day in the life of a data engineer. All right. So fantastic. I can see a lot of ones coming in. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. So, this is the reason of why we're doing what we're doing, in order for us to pass along this information to show you that, yes, in as much as there's a lot of technical jargons involved, it is actually something you can resonate with if it is given to you in easily digestible format, easily understandable format. All right. And that's the reason why we run this program, or the data engineering program. So the data engineering program is a 3-month plus training program, 3 months plus. So this is we literally holding your hands and guiding you in the next 3 months. Okay. And it still comes with a free internship, free 1 month internship. So you're going to be with us with about 4 months plus. All right. You're going to be with us with, for the next 4 months. Okay. So 3 months of immersive learning, working on projects, building pipelines, working on different case scenarios, and so on and so forth. And you also get into work in a virtual internship program. So this training program will teach you Python, PostgreSQL, AWS, Amazon Redshift, Pandas, how to work with Pandas, S3 Bucket, Apache Spark. You're going to work with Airflow for orchestration. You're going to work with GitHub, Linux. You're going to work with ChatGPT, so on and so forth. So those are the things that we're going to be working on for the data engineering program. Now, this training program is 100% online with virtual instructor base. All right. So, like what we did today, whereby I am the one holding your hands and guiding you through a typical project. Okay. But the class is going to be more interactive, whereby you can talk back, you can raise up your hand, you can ask questions. So we have just 2 hours to be on the call, and that's the reason why everybody was muted and all that. But in the typical class, I would show you what a typical class looks like, where you can interact with the facilitators, you can talk, you can ask your questions, you can ask that burning question: why are we doing this? Why did you not do it this previous way? Why did we do it this way? And you're going to be working with experts. You're going to be working with experts. Okay, you're going to be working with experts. So you have hands-on practical sessions like what we did today. We did look at the practical session of how to build a performant data pipeline, connecting to an API source, extracting data, transforming the data, and loading the data into a data warehouse. All right. So it's going to be all practical. from learning Python to learning SQL to learning Apache Spark, AWS, everything is going to be hands-on practical. Now, the other part of it is you would have lifetime access to the material and even the experts. So the facilitators and the people that are going to be coaching you, you would have lifetime access to them, all right? In order for you to ask questions. Obviously, even once you finish the training program, you get a job, you can always go back to revisit this curriculum in order for you to, buff yourself up with the knowledge. Now, the classes, the 30 plus classes, you get over 50 topics that you'll be covering, cutting across data engineering, SQL, Python. We'll look at all this curriculum in a second. All right. So the average salary of a data engineer is 9 million naira. Okay. The average, that's in Nigeria. Okay. And in the UK, the average salary of a data engineer in the UK is £52,000. All right. This project, you're going to be adding 10 projects to your portfolio. It's a 4-month plus training program. You're going to be working on immersive projects, okay, cutting across SQL, Python, AWS, orchestration using Apache Airflow, working with GitHub for version control and so on. So you're going to be adding 10 projects to your portfolio, working across different projects. 100% job visibility is what we do for you also. We'll work on job visibility to get you places where you can apply for jobs, remote opportunities, and so on. I'm going to explain some of them to you as we go on. Certification would also come with the training program. Upon completing the training program, upon completing the capstone presentation, your capstone project, which is a very encompassing project you get to work on, one massive industry relevant project, you get your certification upon completion of that. So like I mentioned earlier, it's a 3-month plus training program and it comes with 1-month internship. So that's about 4 months plus of you learning immersively, all right, with Tenalytics, all right, based on projects, all right. So you see, the key question now is, how do I start? How do I become a data engineer? So the first thing I usually tell people, understand the basics. You need to understand the basics. So you see all the terminologies that we throw around today, you need to understand them properly. All right. And there's still more. If you think that it's just ETL, there's still more. All right. You need to understand the difference between a database, a data warehouse, a data mart, a data lake, Delta lake. And there are so many now. Okay. You need to understand the difference between all these data infrastructures. You need to understand what is normalization, what is star schema, what is snowflake schema, all right? What is first normal form, second normal form, third normal form. You need to understand these fundamentals. You need to understand these technical jargons. So that's what the introduction to data engineering is about. So if we explain this in technical terms, in baby terms for you to understand and to be better, all right? Then after understanding those fundamentals, you go into learning Python and SQL. So those are the 2 languages you need to learn as a data engineer. Those are the 2 fundamental knowledge programming languages you need to learn, Python and SQL. All right. So once you learn Python and SQL and you are comfortable with it, all right, you work on projects using Python and SQL, combining the 2 of them together. Then you move into, Linux and GitHub. So you're going to be using Linux, okay? You're going to be learning Linux for batch commands, and you're going to be learning GitHub for version control, all right? In the actual sense, in every organization you work with, as a data engineer, you're going to be working with, GitHub for version control. Essentially, what version control is talking about is the way, you're working on a document. If you've ever used Google Online, either Google Sheets or you're working on OneDrive, so you see, if you make a mistake, okay, you can always revert back to the previous version. That's basically that's in a very simple term, what version control is. So if you're working obviously in a big organization where you are building pipelines, you're working with different systems, you're working with different teams, all right? If something happens to your pipeline, something breaks it or something is happening to it, or somebody makes some changes that cause, a blockage, you can always revert back to the previous version. So how do you do that? How do you work with GitHub? You're going to get to work with that during the project. All right. So you get to go into data modeling. Data modeling is it's an essential skill set of every data engineer. All right. It's a very essential skill set. You need to be able to model your data, either into a star schema or snowflake schema, or even a database, normalization process. You need to be able to do that. All right. Then now we're going into the transformation phase where you start to work with pandas, you get to work with Apache Spark, you get to work with, for data extraction. So you start with the extraction process. You remember it's an ETL process. Extract, you transform, and you load. All right. So after extraction, then you do data cleaning and transformation. You learn data transformation. Then the next thing is cloud. Majority of the organizations are migrating to the cloud, and that you would know. All right. Every organization now is looking at how they can reduce costs and by taking their data from on-premise to the cloud. So rather than opening, that office, if you work in most offices, you would see like there's one dedicated room that has a lot of AC, that has a lot of lights inside, that you just see wires connected to different routers and all that. That's essentially like an on-premise database system. All right. So, instead of doing that, why not just move all that data to the cloud? So majority of the organizations are moving to the cloud. And AWS is one of the largest platform at the moment in terms of market share, in terms of adoption rate. A lot of businesses are using AWS, and that's the reason why we're settling for AWS. So you're going to work in AWS, you get to work with Amazon Web Services, different services as a data engineer. Thereafter, you get to now build data pipelines on how to move data from different sources, APIs, from flat files, from zip files, from literally different database structures into your cloud platform. All right. And the next thing is orchestration. All right. So once you build a pipeline, you need to be able to orchestrate it and schedule it. So basically to automate it, that's what it means. So you're trying to automate the pipeline. So you want it to run every day. You want it to run every hour. You want it to run every whatever you want to do. You'll be the one to orchestrate. You'll be the one to schedule it. And once you've learned all this, you are literally good to go to becoming a master data engineer. All right. So you see all the things that you need to learn. It's very immersive. I won't lie to you. It's very immersive, and you will take you one step, start the other. Literally one step. Imagine you back there when we're doing matching in primary school. All right, you see, they hold your hands, hold your neighbor's hand, and guide you. That's exactly what we're going to do for you. We'll guide you through becoming a master data engineer. All right. So all the things you need to learn, all the things, all the projects you need to work on, industry relevant projects. You see what I did today? The project I did was something I did and worked on about 4 months ago for a company based in the UK. All right. So I have rejigged it in order for you to learn exactly what a data engineer would do in a scenario like this. All right. So the projects you're going to be working on are projects that we have worked on as experts, and I'm going to share with some of the professionals that are going to be on the team with you, working with you on this particular training. All right. So you see that the projects you're going to be working on are things that are happening in the industry. So when a recruiter reaches out to you and you talk about the projects you've worked on, they're impressed. They say that, oh, these are the things you've done. Oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I know how to do this. All right. They're usually very impressed. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing for you. All right. So, you get access to the curriculum. All right. So this is the curriculum for the data engineering program. So you have data engineering fundamentals, Python programming. What would you be learning in Python? You will learn how to use Python data structures, comparison operators, file handling, Python statements, for and while loops, functions, and so on and so forth. All right. Exploratory data analysis, you use it for processing JSON and REST payloads. You get to work with Python database programming. All right. You get to work with SQL, DDL, DML, DQL, batch commands in Linux. You get to work with GitHub, data modeling, pandas, Apache Spark, data extraction, literally all the things you talked about. You get to work on them as we go on. All right. So you see, this is exactly what you'll be learning from the data engineering program. But now the key question that will be on the lips of everybody is, why should you train with analytics? Why? Why us? All right. Why should you train with analytics? All right. Why should you even start in the first place? So it's a bunch of reasons, okay? And I'm going to explain through. First of them is up-to-date curriculum. Up-to-date curriculum. So we are very strict, we are very in tune, and you'll notice that majority of the program, everything that you have, you'll see ChatGPT is involved. How can you leverage ChatGPT? I was having a conversation with a colleague, okay, just under a week ago, all right? He's currently recruiting for a data scientist, okay? Data scientist, and guess what? It says it's very keen on the person using ChatGPT. If you know how to code, fine, that's okay. But can you use ChatGPT to code faster? That's what it's concerned about. All right. So yeah, coding is still a requirement. You need to be good in coding and all that. But how can you code fast? All right. If you're coding by yourself, you have a lot of debugging and so on and so forth. But how do you code faster is the key question. And that's what AI does for you. AI allows you to code faster, debug faster. Debug means that if you have an error, how do you prefer a solution? So AI allows you to, to do that a lot faster. So that's the reason why we've incorporated ChatGPT to see how you, whenever you're stuck on a code, how do you get a resolution as quick as possible? So up-to-date curriculum is one of the reasons why you should train with us. Secondly, industry experts with hands-on experience, like what we did today. This is my own personal projects I have rejigged in order for you to learn on what a data engineer would do in this kind of scenario. All right. So you're going to be working with experts, people that have industry experience, all right, in order for them to hold your hand and guide you through your journey to becoming a data engineer. The third is blended training program. Okay, blended training in the sense that you have live classes, and you also have, project-based tutorial videos. All right, so you have the live classes, 3 hours every weekend, 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. It also comes with extra what we call watch me do it videos to help you practice better. So you have the classes where you can interact with facilitators, ask a question, and after that, you want to just do something by yourself. So we have those watch me do it videos to accompany you in order for you to work faster, work better, and just as the way it is. All right. So some people like the live classes, some people like self-paced videos. So it's a blend between it. So even if you're a slow learner, all right, take for example, you're a slow learner. I've never coded before in my life. I'm scared. All right. You have the live classes. All right. And after the live classes, we still have bite-sized videos that would guide you through each of the steps. All right. So you're never left alone to say that, oh, go and watch the recording of the class and that's the end. No, that's not all. All right. We still give you bite-sized videos to accompany you, to hold your hands so you're not all by yourself. All right. Now, the other part of it is additional employability services. And I'm going to explain that in a few seconds. Okay. I'm going to come back to that. I'll explain that a lot better in a few seconds. And the last but not the least is virtual internship and expert review. All right, virtual internship where you get to work on more industry relevant projects, okay? And you get an expert review. So you have someone that is currently in the industry telling you what is attainable in the industry based on the project you're giving. All right, so virtual internship, all right, you can add it on your CV, you can add it to your experience that you have gone through 10 analytics. This is the experience you've got, and so on and so forth. When you combine everything together, this is what makes you a master data engineer. All right. So now let's talk about the additional employability services. So we are going to help you, first of all, revamp your CV. All right. I call this revamp, okay? Because we're literally going to rejig your CV. You don't have data engineering experience, that's okay. You've never worked as a data engineer. How do you rejig your CV? I'm going to do that for you. So you see, the CV review session is very important because in order for you to get that first job, you need to be able to have a very solid CV. And we're going to do that for you, revamping your CV end to end. You have experience, you don't have experience, you're a beginner, you are this, you're that, you've just finished school. We're literally going to help you revamp your CV. Now, when a potential recruiter sees your CV, you look like a potential employee of that organization. That's what we're going to do for you. The second part of it is LinkedIn optimization. So LinkedIn optimization is very important, very, very important. And that's because majority of the jobs that you're going to be getting is going to be via LinkedIn. Now, let me tell you what recruiters do, because I do this also when I'm recruiting for organizations, based off in the UK and Ireland. All right. So, when you apply for a job and you look like a very good candidate on your CV, all right, I will still go to your CV. I will still go to your LinkedIn. So, majority of distributors use the paid version of LinkedIn, whereby they can turn off that particular feature whereby you can see when they viewed your profile. So they might view your profile and you wouldn't know they viewed your profile. So very, very possible. So, once they even submit once you submit your CV looks good, they still go to your profile, your LinkedIn profile to cross-check. Do they speak? Are you active? Have you been posting? Are you very, are you that kind of person that shows your skill set? And that's the reason why we tell, if I go on LinkedIn and you see majority of the people that have gone through our programs are always posting on LinkedIn. All right. And that's just to put them in that, in that line mind, first of all. Now, LinkedIn optimization basically works like Google search engine, whereby if a recruiter is looking for a data engineer within your local environment, they should be able to see your profile. There are ways you can also do it that international organization, all right, international recruiters would also get to see your profile. And those are the things that we're going to do for you during the LinkedIn optimization. All right. Upwork optimization essentially is for people that want to work freelance. All right. If you want to do some freelance work, we will do Upwork optimization. So Upwork is a freelance site that allows you to work freelance as a data engineer or as a data professional. All right. The next part of it is navigating the job market. Navigating the job market is very simple. All right. And I was so navigating the job market is one of the reasons why we started analytics. All right. So you see a lot of people, thinking that their skills is only when they learn a new skill, they're applying for jobs within their geographical location. So you learn data engineering and looking for jobs only in Ghana is literally or you learn a new skill and you're only applying it to jobs, you're only applying for jobs in Nigeria, or you're only applying for jobs within your geographical location. It's too limiting. There's a reason why they call it the global tech skills. Okay. And that's because you can actually get a job in the US and get paid more for the skills that you have. All right. The Python you're going to learn, the SQL you're going to learn, the AWS you're going to learn, these are all the same thing across the entire world. So why are you looking for local jobs? Okay, I'm not saying you can't get a good local job. You can get a job in Nigeria, in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, wherever you are. All right, and you can be happy with yourself to say, okay, this job is okay for me. All right. We had a participant that got a job in Nigeria just about 2 weeks ago, roughly about 2, 3 weeks ago. All right. Okay, this is a new week. So let's say about 3 weeks ago. Okay. And guess what? His net salary was a millionaire every single month, data engineering. All right. I'll try and get his testimonial so you can get from him. Okay. So you see, how can you navigate the job market to get more international opportunities? All right. Apply for remote opportunities, apply for remote jobs, and so on and so forth. So that's what we do during navigating the job market. Data engineers, and you only work as a data engineer. We'll discuss it during the navigating the job market. So as a data engineer, there are roles of jobs you could actually apply to. What are these jobs? All right. A lot of people will learn data engineering and they'll go on job site and only search for data engineering roles. It's all they'll search for. But there is more. There are more jobs you can actually apply for. But you're not aware of it. And that's the reason why we started the navigating the job market sessions. All right. The next part of it is recommendation and reference letter. Now, I think this is one of the most very important things that we offer to you. Recommendation and reference letter. Very simple, but yet very, very technical. And I'll tell you the reason why. You apply for a job as a data engineer, majority of international firms will want a reference letter. We want a reference letter. And that's the reason why we had to add it to our services because, majority of the people that apply for jobs, across the job market in the Philippines, in Netherlands, in Australia, in the US, these organizations would always want a reference letter. All right. Oh, you say you know how to use AWS. You've used it, to build pipelines and so on. All right. And you get a reference letter from your previous employers. All right. But your previous role, you're working as a customer service representative. All right. They cannot stand in for you. All right. To say that you know how to do data pipeline, they can't do that. And that's where we come in. So as long as you've gone through the training program, you've worked on all the projects, you can claim work experience from Analytics, and you could use it as a reference to any organization you are moving forward with. So you see, a lot of people are just looking for that first step. Okay, to say that, oh, I have worked here before, and if I come to your organization, this is what I would do. So this referencing is essentially that first starting point to tell people that you've learned data engineering, you not only learned, you also worked on this certain industry relevant projects. And now, if you get a chance to work in the organization, this is what you would do. So that's what we do in terms of referencing. We also use it for recommendation letter, especially if you are applying for your master's, your PhD, and you don't have a degree or you don't have any form of technical background or job experience, we also can write you a recommendation letter for your master's or and so on, as long as you've gone through the training program. Now, job and interview preparation, very important. You apply for a data engineering role. I can tell you for a fact, if you don't have preparation, you are likely going to bank. There's something called bank. You bank the interview or you make a mistake with the interview. And that's just because you've never done it before. So what we do is we do a mock session for you. So once you apply for a job, and we are very keen, you will see everybody that goes through analytics, you would always learn how to tailor your CV, how to work on your LinkedIn profile, how to navigate the job market in order for you to land interviews. First thing is for you to get interviews. All right. So once you get that interview, we'll prepare you. We have mock sessions where we build up a scenario of the interview process and we ask you questions and we basically train you up for that interview. Okay, so very immersive session. I won't lie to you. So it's not going to be facilitated. It's going to be like interviewer and interviewee relationship, where I'm going to be asking you very good questions, very technical questions, and it really helps a lot of our participants in landing their jobs. So we also have mentorship sessions where we bring experts across the field to come and speak to you. So all the big names you see in the industry that currently are working as data professionals or technical professionals, we bring them in to come and speak to you. Yes, a lot of these people, you find out that they are not so very good start. So a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not too technical enough. When you get to hear from people that have 10 years, 15 years experience saying that when they started, they were in the same shoes with you. All right. It gives you a little bit of mumble, it gives you more morale to get started, to push forward, to show you that as long as you can master it, there is light at the end of the tunnel. All right. So the last but not the least is on the job support. Okay. We still do on the job support. So you see, we're literally building a platform for a community, not really a platform anymore, a community to hold people and guide them into the tech space. So you get the job and they tell you, oh, we need you to do this. And you're looking at it that, Femena, I did not teach you this one in class, or I have forgotten this particular one. All right. That's where we come in on the job support, where we provide all the job support for you. So literally the whole idea for us, it's not just for you to learn the skill. All right. Learning data engineering, literally, you can go anywhere else to do that. All right. The key thing for us, and I'm going to just say this, all right, is for you to get a job at the end of the session. And that's the reason why our employability sessions are very, very well packed. All right. And that's the reason why you should train with us, because we're going to really take it very hard on you for CV review, link optimization, Upwork optimization, navigating the job market, recommendation and reference, job interview preparation, mentorship session, and on-the-job support. So you see, once you're learning, you're also getting so much support, additional employability support in order for you to get started. Now, some of the roles you can take on as a data engineer, all right, first of them is data, you can work as a data engineer. You can work as an ETL developer, that's extract, transform, and load developer. You can work as a cloud engineer. Okay, so you're going to be working with AWS. You can work as an AWS cloud engineer. You can work as a data quality engineer. So a lot of organizations suffer from what they call dirty data. So you're coming in as that person that will be cleaning up the data, transforming the data, and making it available for the data analysts and the data scientists within the organization. You could also work as an analytics engineer, all right? You could work as a BI developer, which is business intelligence developer. You could work as a big data analyst, okay? Big data analyst, and you could work as a quantity data engineer, or a quantitative data engineer. You could also have data migration engineer. There are so many roles you can actually take on that is not labeled data engineer. All right. And those are the things that we're going to expose to you during the navigating the job market sessions, where you get to know all these things. All right. Other opportunities, you can work freelance, you can work, remotely as a data engineer and earn in dollars. All right. So these are some of the sites you can check out. LinkedIn, remote.co, Upwork, Indeed, Wellfound. These are sites you can actually go to get data engineering jobs. I'm going to explore it, once I finish all this. I'm going to show you some places and show you the practical side of you landing a job remotely. All right. So let me just see if I can show you one before we move on. I know instead I was going to do 2 hours today, and I'm trying to do 2 hours. Okay. All right, so let me just quickly show you. So Well Found is one of the places you could actually go to. So Well Found, I'm going to go to find your next job, and you see it here. I'm just going to show you over 130,000 remote and local startup jobs. So Well Found is very good on local and remote startup jobs. So these are fully remote jobs. All right. So I'm going to go to data and analytics roles. Okay, so you see senior data engineer. This is Zoom Info, 134,284. This is just about 4 weeks ago. Another data engineer role 2 weeks ago, 110 to 124, 129,000. Data engineer. So like I said, there's so much. This is data analytics jobs anyway, where you see majority of them are data engineering roles, and that's because of the high demand for data engineers. All right. So, you have to create a profile for this one in order for you to view all the jobs. Okay. Data analytics. I don't have a profile. That's the reason why I can't view everything. Another place you could go to is built-in. All right. Built-in. So built-in is for jobs in the US. Okay. Jobs in the US, remote jobs in the US. So if I come here and I type in data, or let's say cloud engineer this time around, cloud engineer, remote in the US, you see cloud operations engineer, cloud backend software engineer, so senior cloud engineer, uh, cloud platform engineer. So you can see they are calling theirs whatever different names. Okay. I can see majority of them 5 hours ago, 5 hours ago, yesterday, 9 days ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. These are jobs that are always coming out. Okay, that are always coming out. All right. You could also search for data engineer, and let's see what that comes up with. So you have principal data engineer, you have lead data engineer, you have future opportunity data engineer, you have data engineer, data engineer. Quite a number of 10 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 16 hours ago, yesterday, 2 days ago, so on and so forth. And these are all data engineering roles. So this one is between 90 to 209. That's big data infrastructure engineer. So you see, these are all remote opportunities that you can latch into once you're done with the training program. LinkedIn is one. I'm not going to go on LinkedIn because everybody knows LinkedIn. Glassdoor is another one. All right. Glassdoor is another one. So jobs. I'm going to go to jobs. I'm going to search for data engineer. Okay. I'm going to look in at the United States. All right. Just going to be sure. All right. So these are all jobs in the United States. All right. So and you could also just apply filters for just the remote opportunities, So you look for this part-time contract internship. So let me look at, and you could specify just the ones that are remote. Let me just see. There's a filter. They've adjusted their website. So there's a little bit of changes here. Okay. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me just show you another one. They've adjusted the website in order for you to see remote opportunities. Just a remote one. Not easy apply. I'm looking for they posted job type, all jobs, contract, internship, temporary, apprenticeship, and entry level. I don't need entry level. Okay. All right. So, anyways, there are quite a number of places. All right. These are just like remote.co is the most popular, is another very popular one. All right. Sorry, not remote.co. Remote.co. All right. So this is also remote opportunities literally across the world, also majorly in the US, but majorly across the world also. All right. You could just search, all right, find remote jobs, and you could find literally data engineers, okay, or data engineer, and you could search and you'd see remote opportunities for data engineers. All right. So you see this was 15 minutes ago, 4 hours ago. These are all data engineering platforms and all that. Okay. But anyways, like I said, these are some of the things, these are just some of the sites that you could, these are the ones that are most popular out there, and that's the reason why I can show you. But the ones we still have some internally that we use for people that we can actually use in getting them, remote opportunities as data engineers. All right. The growth internship program, like I discussed, don't worry, I'm coming. I'm Peter Benjamin. I'm going to explain all that in a few seconds. Oh, the growth internship program is 1 month, like I mentioned. Okay, so you can add it to your internship. You have 1 month to own your skills. To add more projects to your portfolio. So you're going to be working on more industry relevant projects. You can add those projects. You can add it to your portfolio. You can add that experience to your CV. All right, and tell them that you've worked with analytics. All right. So you have that 1 month, to add it to your CV. You will get to work on 6 additional projects. You get to that project review with an expert, like I mentioned earlier. All right, where you have an expert currently in the industry and holding you and guiding you through your journey to becoming a data engineer. So the internship program it's a very immersive one where you get to work on industry relevant projects all through the way. So some global demands of tech talent. So not just organizations are looking to attract tech talent this time around. Countries now across the world are looking to hire tech talents. So first of them is Canada. So Canada is the first one. Um, the global talent stream. All right. United Kingdom has a global talent visa. Germany has a blue card scheme. Singapore has a tech pass program. Australia has a global talent visa. France also has the French Tech Visa program, and Ireland has the Critical Skills Employment Permit program. So these are the things that you've put together in order for you to, get more understanding of how you can also use tech to relocate, if that's what you want to do. How can you use tech to relocate? Quite a number of countries open their borders for, what they call digital nomads, where you can actually just come to the country, work because of your skill, because of the skills that you have. So use your skills. You can actually use skills to get what you're looking for, depending if it's money, if it's relocation, if it's flexibility. That's exactly what the tech talent skills does for you. So some of your facilitators, I'll be one of the facilitators. My name is Ifemena April. You have Timi Olujinka, 6 years experience, over 6 years experience working as a software engineer and also as a data engineer. She has experience working in healthcare, technology, and e-commerce. All right, she has trained over 800 professionals across the world in data engineering, and she has helped them transition from whatever career path they were into data engineering. We also have Kelvin Oyana, all right, data engineer with QDAX Canada, financial technology company, all right. So he has spent the last 6 years, you can see what he wrote here, he has spent the last 6 years helping businesses build optimal cloud infrastructure, performance data pipelines, and analytic solutions to power analytics and ML/AI initiatives. Okay. All right. Obina also currently is a data engineer with Moonful Canada, and his prior experience was working with one of the largest banks back in Africa. So you see what he wrote here. He has been instrumental in technical product support for flagship digital and rental and retail products, generating billions of naira annually and serving millions of customers across one of Africa's largest banking brands. So you see, these are people who have done it on a very large scale that are going to come back to and hold other Nigerians, other Africans across the world in order for them to get a job. So we have Byron, also a data engineer, 6+ years experience. You can see all these people that have been doing this, they have experience, they're going to be coming back to also, push their brand forward to also help you transition into the data engineering space. Ibrahim Marshall, data machine learning engineer. All right, very sound, very, very sound professional with experience, from data science to machine learning engineering. So you'll be learning quite a lot from him. Daniel Opanubi, also data engineer with iTech Integrated Services. All right, also facilitated with analytics, has a lot of experience building data pipelines and training and so on and so forth. All right, so the training program is going to be starting on the 7th of October, 2023. That's literally next week, Saturday. It's going to be starting next week, Saturday. So the training program original fee is 450,000 naira or 500 pounds. All right. But like I said, I have I have a surprise for people that wait to the end of the session. I have a surprise for the people that wait to the end of the session. Now, if you do not, all right, we have a discount running. So rather than you paying £500, all right, you could actually pay in 2 installments of £300 and £100. All right, so rather than paying 500, you can pay the discounted amount of £400. And rather than paying 450,000 naira, you can actually pay a discounted fee of 350,000 naira. Now, this is the last call for people looking to get started in data engineering. So if you want to join the next cohort on Saturday, 7th of October 2023, I would say you should register now. Okay, that's the best time for you to register. So the deadline is going to be on Tuesday, this week Tuesday. All right, the deadline is this week Tuesday. So if you're looking to register, we are going to be closing up registration by Tuesday. And this discount also closes on Tuesday. So you need to lock in your space, all right? All right, you need to lock in your space on or before Tuesday. And also, it's 2 things here. It's only for the first 10 people to register, all right? It's only for the first 10 people. So once you reach 10 people before Tuesday, you're going to close the registration, right? All right. So if you're looking to join the next cohort starting on the 7th of October 2023, all right, be part of the 10 people to register before Tuesday and you get the discount. Now, the beauty about this is you can balance the second payment 1 month into the training program. You can balance the second payment. You will balance the payment. That's what we're doing. So once you pay your £300, okay, you can balance the rest 1 month into the training program. So you have pay the £300 now, and you have 1 month. That's towards the end of October, November, in order for you to pay the balance. All right. All right. Yes, the deadline is on Tuesday, so maximum Tuesday is where we're going to. So it's 2 things, like I mentioned, 2 things. Yeah. So if we get 10 people before Tuesday, we're going to close up the registration. All right. Also, if by Tuesday, if we don't even get up to 10 people, we close up the registration. So that's basically it. All right. So yes, we'll be having another session in November. So we run this every single month in order for you to get started. All right. So every month. So if you can join the October cohort, you can also join the November cohort. Okay. So Benga, do you want to introduce Tolulokwe for him to get started? It's just like I said, we have people that have registered already. So this is just the last call for people to register. So a lot of people have reached out to us to say that they are looking to also join the program. And that's the reason we are running this masterclass, to just do a last call in order for us to get more people to join the program. And we're only looking out for 10 people to add to the people that we have already. Okay, so the 10 people, if you want to be part of the 10 people, you need to register now, on or before Tuesday. All right, so by Tuesday, we're closing up registration. We're not receiving any more payment for the October cohort. And literally, like I said, it's 3 months plus. So if you want to start, that's the best time for you to start. So you have October, November, December, and you'll be rounding off, by December. So you can start the new year, all right, in that particular phase of you becoming a data engineer. So this is the best time for you, if you're looking to transition next year, this is where you should start, ideally. All right. And you see what we've done today. Honestly speaking, I think, breaking down, how you can actually build data pipelines, do some little bit of analytics and all that. And, those are the things that you need to understand, that data engineering is not as madly technical. You don't have to be good in mathematics. You don't have to be good in statistics. You don't have to be good in literally, no numerical course. Okay. All you need to be good at is Python and SQL. And we're going to unhold you and guide you through the training process. And really, that's what you need. Apart from that, we'll literally be able to guide you and hold you through the training process. That's exactly what we're going to do for you. All right. So we have one of our participants in the house that would like to speak. So, Benga, do you want to introduce who is speaking, please?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Tolu, welcome to the call. Please you have the floor now.
Good evening,
All
everyone.
right. All right.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ifemina. Thanks for having me on the call. Hi, everyone. I would just like to share with you my journey so far with Tenalytics. So I joined Tenalytics in August of this year. And prior to joining Tenalytics, I work in the field of data, but I don't work in a technical role. So majority of the stakeholders I engage with are data engineers, data analysts, data scientists. And I always have to drive conversations with these stakeholders. So, however, whenever data engineers are talking and explaining some concept and talking, say we have a particular data incident that we're trying to resolve, I'm always sort of behind. I used to be behind in those conversations because I was not able to ask the right questions. So there was that gap. Hence my reason for joining Tenalytics. And I must say, it is not, data engineering is not rocket science. From the seasoned facilitators to the very rich curriculum. In fact, I've been on this program for about, I think 7 weeks now, 8 weeks now. And my line manager is starting to see the difference because he's aware. So he's starting to see the difference even in my conversations. And, I'm also looking to be, prior to joining, I just wanted to learn a lot about data engineering so that I can use it to drive conversations. However, I fell in love with data engineering and I'm looking to explore that part. I'm looking to go down that path. So, because I used to think, oh, what is this? Really, it's not as difficult. It's not as difficult. I love the fact that the program is beginners friendly. It's actually a beginner friendly program. We have people within my cohort who are, from a non-technical background, from engineers to different walks of life. However, I would say that the program can be it's actually very rich, but you need to put in the work in order for you to be able to get what you want. You can only force a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. So there is a lot of, practice, and also the fact that we work on hands-on projects does it for me. Like, it actually does it for me. We've worked on web scraping projects. We've actually even built sales applications as well. We've built calculators. So it's actually a very rich program, and I would for what we're paying or for what I paid for, I think I think I got more than what I paid for, if you ask me. And I'm only 7 weeks in. So that has been my experience so far. And fingers crossed, by the end of the year, I should be looking to transition, and I'm looking to, move into the data engineering side within my company. So yeah, thank you very much. So that'll be all from me.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. What about, do you attend the mentorship sessions, the CV review? What do you think about, how does that play out for you too?
So for the CV review, I think it's in fact, when I say you get so much more than you pay for, this is what I was referring to. I was also referring to the part where you get facilitators and mentors who actually hold your hand and walk you through every step of the way. So the mentorship session is always, you would even see some previous students as well on there. So it is a very, very, very educated session where we get taught a lot of things. And also, there is the session where, we get taught, they get to review our CVs. We have mentors who look through our CVs and provide feedback, which you can then also take and apply, in your own CV as well. So for me, from the mentorship sessions to the CV review, even when you have an interview preparation, it is top notch in my own opinion. So yes, for me, it does it. Based on my experience so far, I think you're getting more than what you're getting more value for what one's paying. So that at least that's my own experience.
All right, absolutely. Thank you very much, Tolulope. On a Sunday, you're coming to share your experience with potential participants. I think that's something we can, is very laudable, I would say. All right, so thank you very much, and thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate that. All right. So you've heard from our participant currently in the training program, very immersive. So if you have any question, you can raise up your hand. I will take some questions before we call it a day. Okay. So please, guys, you don't say much about financial analytics, or should I change to data? I literally had a call. I literally had a session yesterday on financial analytics. So I'm surprised that you are not a part of. I literally, if you go to our YouTube channel, the video should be up. Where we literally had a session on financial analytics yesterday, literally yesterday. All right, and we talked about financial modeling. We talked about how to build financial analysis, all right, and so on and so forth. So I would share that particular folder. I would share that
Hello
particular.
guys, my name is Adeza Suleiman and I'm the founder of
All right.
Technologies.
So I would share that. I would share the video with you. I'll share the video somewhere. I'll try and get the link to the YouTube video. We had a session yesterday for financial analytics. All right. So I'm not sure why you didn't get to join that session. So there's quite a number of opportunities also for financial analytics professional. You don't need to make changes. It's still analytics. You will get to learn more about that. All right. So Benjamin is saying 5% data engineering load. Okay, yeah, as long as you register. So in order for you to register, just click on the main stack link. So Ibele has sent the link to the chat. All you need to do is click on the link and it's going to open up in a browser. Okay, so just click on the link. And all you need to do, if you want to get access to view the view the brochures, all right, you see the first link there is get access to all program brochures, all right, and you'll see data engineering, all right, this is data engineering. You can download, you see the button there for you to download, and you can see the full scope of the data engineering program, all right. Now, in terms of payment, all right, you could actually, for Naira, for the guys in Nigeria, the guys in Ghana, look into, let me just open the brochure so you can see it properly. Downloads, I'm going to show you this quickly. So this is the data engineering program, data engineering brochure, all right, where you see everything data engineer, all the program, what you're going to learn, the details of everything you're going to learn. So you see the full all detail of everything, what you're going to get from the training program, your facilitators, and so on and so forth. All right. So that's the brochure themselves. Now, if you want to make payments in Nigeria, in Naira, in Ghana cedis, you could actually use the pay stack to make this payment. So first and first part payment. So for the guys that are looking to make part payment, you can come in to make your full or part payment. So go all the way to data engineering. So if you're making a part payment, you're making a part payment, you'll see there. All right. So full, you can select either full or part. So if it's part payment, you'd say it's 250,000 naira. If it is full payment, it is 350,000 naira. All right. So that's basically the scenario. And if you want to use PayPal, if you want to pay, in pounds, all right, you could actually see the pounds GBP PayPal. All right, you see for data engineering, how you can use PayPal to make payment. And if you're in Canada and you want to make payment also, full payment, click on that. All right. If you don't want to put your details, you could just go ahead to click on buy now and use PayPal to make the payment, put in your email, put in your phone number, and you're good to go. All right. So those are the things that you could do. And if you want to do a direct transfer, you want to send the money directly to the account, we have the Tenalytics UK bank account in here, and you also have the Nigerian account number. All right. You can take a screenshot, all right, and you can make the payment. But once you make payment, guys, I've seen 2 people send me messages now that they've made payments already. So once you've made payments, all right, please come to this part here and select, upload your receipts. All right, upload your receipt in here. You see it is the second button. Click on that second button. It's going to take you to a Google form and you can upload your receipt in there. You can upload your receipt in there. So it's a Google form that will allow you to upload your receipt and all that. So for the guys that have made payment, at least 2 people have sent me a message now. So all you need to do is, upload your receipt on the platform. Just click on the main stack link. If Benga has also sent it just now, click on the main stack link, upload your payment, and you're good to go. All right. So please, guys, like I said, it's 10 people that will close up registration, or Tuesday, on or before Tuesday, we also close the registration. All right, Chikwe, Udeze, do you want to ask? You could. I'm just gonna have people. I'm gonna have people unmute themselves. Okay, Chikwe, do you want to unmute yourself? I'll ask a question. Chikwelu, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, yes.
Okay, please. I've earlier made a part payment of 180,000 naira based on the earlier classes, master classes I participated in. So today I participated in this class, and I'm hearing that the part payment is 250,000 naira. I don't know how to
The data
reconcile
engineer
that.
you paid.
Actually, when I was uploading my receipt, I got to a point where I was asked to choose which of the courses I want to enroll on, and there was an option that said you are not sure. If you are not sure, you want to speak to an expert or something. So I chose I want to speak to be able to be sure what I need at this moment. So I've not really chosen a particular, but I learned all this while is 280,000 naira. It's supposed to be 300,000 naira, but 280,000 for this as a discount. So, but the initial pattern is 180. I paid 180.
Yes. So for data analytics, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, those programs are, is 270,000, and it is 180,000 naira for those programs. Only data engineering is different. All right. The only thing data engineering that is 350,000 naira. All right. That's the total fee, discounted total fee. All right. So the 180,000 naira would afford you to go for any other training program aside data engineering. I don't know if that makes sense to you now.
Okay. Well, but if I want to enroll with the data engineer, how do I do it now?
You would have to pay the
What do I make up?
balance. You have to make the balance.
Okay, I can actually make a balance and upload it. Will you people be able to reconcile it?
Absolutely. That's no problem at all. That's no problem. So if you're interested in data engineering, you selected,
Okay.
you need to speak with an expert. So this week we are going to schedule calls, one-on-one conversation with people that selected. I need to speak with an expert. And that's what I usually tell most people. Just just make your payments, get your own spot. So you can actually select that I need to speak with an expert. Then we'll still have conversations with you. So this week, on or before Wednesday this week, we'll schedule calls, one-on-one conversations with yourself and any other person I selected. That I need to speak with an expert. So you can make a decision based on where you are, all right, what you want to do, your goals and objectives and all that. All right. So you're not just jumping into it, all right. You're still making decisions on that itself. All right. So yes, I think that would be fun. But if you're going for if you eventually want to go for data engineering, I would say you would need to pay the balance of 180,000 to 250. Then you're good to go for the first time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks also for registering and trusting our services. All right. I appreciate that big time.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So thank you for the opportunity teaching on the ETL part of data engineering. Looking forward to 7th. Yes, thank you very much for taking our time to listen to us. Bento is asking another question. Why is data engineering more expensive than any other course? Very simple. Now, data engineering is sort of relatively new. Not I wouldn't say new, but relatively new career path. And to get professionals that would literally sit down and talk to an OG weekends, weekday, during the week. All right. Provide projects, provide this, provide mentorships and all that. It's an expensive feat. But what we're trying to do is if you have done research, okay, and you'll see majority of testimonials, people would say that it is affordable. Even Tulu came up to say it is affordable. Do you understand? And that's what we're trying to look at to say, how can we give you the best value at the lowest cost possible? Because a lot of people are looking to transition, but how did it get started? It's very difficult. All right. And you see all those other platforms charge so much money, all right, and you don't get as much value from it. And that's the reason why we have this. So in order for us to get professionals that have industry experience, in order for them to come and sit down and teach you, it's not free of charge for them. All right. All right. It's our own model to ensure that you get the best value at the least cost possible, or to get those professionals to sit down with you and teach and train and answer your questions, and all that is quite expensive. And that's the reason why it's slightly more expensive than the usual training program. And that's we just being, there. So happy giveaway. 5 we'll give it. All right. Please, what is the discounted amount for data analytics and the deadline? The data entry is also going to be Tuesday. So I'll close everything for registration closes on Tuesday. All right. So all you need to do, the discounted fee is 270,000 naira. Okay. So you need 180,000 for data analytics. You need to pay 180,000 naira for you to register. Okay. All right. Again, what is the minimum laptop requirement needed for this learning? Okay. Really, in terms of minimum, if you have a laptop that runs, you can watch a movie on the laptop. You are fine. You are good to go. As long as it's not dying by itself when NEPA takes light, and you are good to go. All right. As long as you have a regular system, either HDD of any size, that's hard disk of any size, RAM of like 8 gig RAM and above is good enough for you to get started. The whole idea is for you to get started, not to become, one massive, project where you are building, moving data pipelines of 5 billion rows of data. No, not yet. So we're going to be, it's just a normal system. It's okay for you, right? So what else? Another question around. I appreciate your masterclass. It's interesting. I'll plan towards next year project. Okay, thank you, Victor. Thanks a lot for that. Don't worry, we're going to be there with you by God's grace. Need to know if my current laptop can carry the load. Yes, your current laptop will be good to go. Thank you very much, Ifemena. My hands up. Dominic, yes, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Please go ahead.
Yes, Femina, well done for a good job. But all this thing that you did, I'm still asking myself whether I'm going to be able to cope. You understand? Because though you say that when we start that everything will be fine, this and that, I don't know. Because I will first of all make sure that I'm able to go through it. I would have paid things, but I just said, let me go. I've not attended this data engineering class before. I've been attending other ones. And also, most times when I fill those forms, I don't see the recorded version of this thing. Because I think if I go through what we've done today and go through it, I think I will be more convinced. So I don't know how we get this video. Actually, I am just waiting, I'm just waiting.
Okay, all right. So for the recording, you'll see
Yeah.
you'll see the coordinate the guys in the background. So that's being and Ibeli. They are the data associates of the program from the analytics. They will be posting attendance, so you need to fill their attendance in order for you to get the recording. So if once you have
I've already filled.
okay, then you're fine. You're good to go.
Yes.
You'll get an email today, tomorrow. Okay. All right. So looking at the class, let me put myself in your shoes now. Okay. Will I learn? That's a key question. All right. And one thing that is very fundamental for us is you getting the most value from the training program. So that first thing first, okay, we accommodate all type of learners, slow learners, fast learner, experienced learner, whatever you are, we are always going to be moving at the same pace. How do we ensure that you move at the same pace? First of all the sessions are recorded. Every single session is recorded. Mentorship session, class, CV review, LinkedIn optimization, conversation with mentors. Every session is recorded. So you are never going to be left behind. First of all, that's one thing you have at the back of your mind. And you remember Tolu say that, you need to be the person to make conscious efforts. All right? You need to be that person.
Yeah.
All right, that's one thing that you need at the back of your mind. So if you can make that conscious effort, even though it's 30 minutes every day to learn, to sit down, to do something, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
even though it's
Yes.
all right. Now let me just walk you through the classroom, okay?
Okay.
So you see, this is the introduction to data engineering. This is the class that started. This is you see 2309. This is the class that started this month, September. Okay, last month, September. All right. So this class is currently 4 weeks into the training program. 4 weeks into their training program. So this is week 1, okay? The first class, Introduction to Data Engineering. You will get the recording, all right? You will get the recording, full-fledged recording. This is Byron taking a class. It's about 3 hours talking about, data engineering, the fundamentals, what is data engineering, so on and so forth. Then, all right, you also get the materials, obviously, Introduction to Data Engineering. So you can take your own pace. All right, you finish the classes, you understand some things, you don't understand some things, you can always go back to the recording to revisit. And you have lifetime access to those recording, lifetime access. All right. Now, the second thing now is you have the next class. This is Saturday. Then you have another class on Sunday, Python basics. We're introducing Python to you. All right. So this is, you reintroducing Python to you. You've never programmed before. What is Python? How do you install? How do you download? How do you do this? How do you do that in Python? We provide all that recorded. It's 3 hour session, and I just showed you the class just yet. All right. So this is about another, like I said, all the classes are 3 hours. Okay. Now we know that everybody cannot get this in class. It's technically very impossible for 100% of the people in class to get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have done, yes,
Femina. Yeah.
yes,
Not
Dominic.
that not that I am a blockhead.
No, 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 no. I'm just walking
Hold
you
on, no.
through.
I want to tell
Okay.
you something. So after my youth service, long time ago, I did Oracle 10G and I also did SQL. But you see all those things, I never did anything with it. So now they look as if it has run away. But I believe maybe by the time I start this program, maybe I'll be able to recall most of those things,
Okay.
But no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I understand you. I understand. Don't worry. The reason why we're doing this, right, is, and the good part of it is, it's industry relevant projects. So it's not just me going to be teaching you how to use SQL vaguely, but how do I use it as a data engineer in e-commerce business? How do I use the SQL in a health tech related situation? How do you use it? So you see, those are the reasons where you get all this kind of projects. So like I mentioned earlier, you get the watch me do it videos. So the watch me do it videos, you see, you have the live classes on data structures, but you'll still get bite-sized videos that would still help you practice better by yourself. Okay? So you see all these bite-sized videos would now, give you more, practical knowledge of how to use programming language, how to do data pipeline, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's going to teach you another brighter. You can see this one is just 17 minutes. All right, it takes you one step at a time. All right, so now let's talk about week 1 challenge. So you have an article, you write an article. Say Python basics class 2, real life case study on what? All right, real life case study on why is it not? Sorry. So on Python, you see it's a real life case study on Python. So let's take a look at it. Okay. So it talks about, we're going to change the PDF so you see it exactly. All right. So how do you use all these things in a real life scenario? Okay. In a real life scenario. If you're given this, how would you do this? If you're doing this, what would happen? So those are the kind of things that you're going to be working on during the class itself. All right. And after that, after the whole class, you still get materials, you still get recordings, you get everything, you get all the assistance. To the extent that if you apply for a job and you get a job, you can easily book an interview. You can book an interview preparation session. All right. CV templates, for your CV and all that. All right. Everything is provided for you. How to create a web portfolio, how to, for mentorship sessions, how to do all these things. It's basically designed to hold you through your journey to becoming a data engineer. All right. So everything you can see, they're currently doing SQL. They have the Watch Me Do It videos, bite-sized videos to explain SQL and so on and so forth. Let's take a look at one of these. Introduction to SQL, for example. All right. Take a look at this. So this is just like an introduction to data to SQL. You've had the live classes. You have the live classes. They've done SQL basics already. All right. But we still give you an extra video to show you another perspective
welcome
to getting
to
started.
the session on SQL.
Can you hear Can you hear it?
All right.
Yeah, yes, I can. Yes.
Exported.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. No problem.
So it's very immersive. I will lie to you, and that's what Tolu was saying. He says that it is absolutely immersive. Okay, immersive in the sense that you will learn a lot. Trust me. All right.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for taking our time. Thanks for the question also.
Yeah.
All right. If you have any other concerns or any other question, I'm just going to show you some testimonials from people that have gone through. This is our YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube channel and you can interact with. We have quite a ton of testimonials. I'm going to be focusing majorly on the guys that went through data engineering, just so you can get them.
Hello everyone, my name is Oluwatosin. I have a lot of passion for data. If you say passion, I'm passionate. I had to join the May cohort on data engineering. The exciting part of it is that they have professional, and if I say professional, they are professional facilitators. They will teach you in a way that you would understand, you would assimilate. Then they taught us SQL, Python. It is not anaconda snake. This is, Python programming language. Then the most interesting part of it is that they take us on mentorship sessions. They are very good. I can proudly say I am an asset to an organization, and my deepest gratitude is to Analytics. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Obina Okorocha, and I am a data engineer from the Analytics Data Engineering cohort. Before joining Analytics, I was an absolute novice, both in the data world and the tech world as a whole. Joining Analytics and being transformed in a really short time to the data engineer that I am today, just by following the simple steps, just by following the simple instructions, I've been able to transform my career and my global appearance as a data engineer has been fantastic. These sessions included CV reviews, job interview preparations, and the rest of them. And I just want to say, I feel like I got more than my money's worth from Analytics, and this is an opportunity I would like to use to say a big thank you to Analytics for making me the data engineer that I am today.
Look out for. They really want us to transition. That's what I have to say about them. They really want us to transition beyond the knowledge. They tell us how. It's not just about impacting with the knowledge. How are you going to get to the marketplace? Locally, internationally, they really want us to transition, and they are really working towards it. I would recommend Analytics to everyone, and to me, it's affordable because we've got competitors out there. To me, it's affordable, and with the kind of knowledge you're getting, trust me, it's a good choice. There's no regrets. I'm learning every day, new challenges. I'm ready to face them because I know challenges will make you better, and it's making me better, really. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'm just going to suggest, with testimonials, there are a ton of them on our YouTube page. All you need to do is just go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, obviously. All right, but there are a ton of testimonials there for you to get to listen to what people have gone through, the impact they are currently doing in the organization, how they're able to transition. I'm just going to show you this. All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. We have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Analytics to go back to. They are the best, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, Analytics for the win.
All right. See, testimonials Japa E plenty. When I say E plenty, can you guys say E's plenty? On our Lagos voice. All right. So those are the kind of things that you hear. And one thing I usually say, and I've said during the session, is we are not trying to get you to break the bank in order for you to start your career as a data engineer or whatever career path. All right. The key thing for us is to get more Africans into the tech space. Now, guess what? This was just early this year, last year actually. All right. And I started a new role. Me personally got a new role, okay, working as a contractor with a firm here in the UK. All right. And I had a session where I met with different stakeholders across the business, implementing, business transformation, data transformation projects. And in that transformation project I was leading, all right, guess who just messaged me on Teams? It was a participant. Okay, let me see if the testimonial is here. Was it one of our previous participants, Rafiat? All right. Oh, a picture is not here. Let me see. I don't think I added it. All right. So it's not on the craft. It's not here. It's not part of the testimonials I have here. All right. So Rafiat just sent me a message. Okay. Rafiat just sent me a message. I said that, oh, if you're with analytics, you're with the post office. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, do I know you? She felt obviously she sent me a message like she knew me. All right. I wasn't sure of where I knew her from because we have a lot of people going through analytics. All right. And eventually she said, oh, I went through the business analyst training program. And I'm currently, working as a business analyst with the post office here in the UK. And I was shocked that, not just what is the coincidence that you went through analytics, you did the training, you got a job as a business analyst, and She literally started, I think, 3 weeks before I did on my new on the role with the office with that particular organization. And that's just the fun thing. Do you know how exciting it is? So you until you get into the space, that's when you know that having a Nigerian or an African on your team means the world to you. All right. The fact that you can talk in your own lingos, you guys can communicate, when the other people are talking their own lingos. All right. I went to the office sometimes, last year. All right. And it was for Christmas. It was a Christmas hangout for the team. And I was literally the only African, not just, I was literally the only black person. So it's not like I didn't come, I did not, mix well with these people, but their jokes and the way they communicate is very different from the way we communicate. So it's not just a mixed match. There's not a perfect match. All right. But essentially having having more Africans on the team, get into a place, you're right, and you're seeing two Nigerians, two Ghanaians, or Ghanaians, Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africans on the team. It's what we're looking out for. And that's the reason why a lot of people say we're affordable. That's not the goal for us. The goal is to get more Africans into the tech space, more education, majorly for Africans, to see how you can, to tell you that all these things that you're seeing, the Europeans, the Americans, and the Chinese, the Indians getting into this role. It's not, they don't have two ends. All right. And that's what my mom would always say. I'm very sure your mom would have said the same to your dad would have said the same thing. These people don't have two ends. So literally that's why we're doing the education, telling you now you can learn this thing. You can learn these things. You can learn it and easily, find your way into the job force. All right, that's what we're doing. That's the main focus for us. So you see, Chizoba currently works with the NHS as a data engineer. I'm telling you, just last week alone, about four people got jobs in the NHS from Analytics. All right, just last week, literally about 4 people got jobs with the NHS. So Chizoba also got a job with the NHS working as a data engineer. And this is the message you had with Byron and Ebele, which is they are the data associates on the program that would help you and hold you. So AWC also went through the training program, currently works with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK as a data engineer. All right, so you can see this also Date got a job as a data scientist in the US. Okay, so you see quite a number of them. It will be, you see what it will be wrote for us here. It will be said first proper job in the UK after analytics training. So you see, we have a ton of testimonials of how people have gone through the training program and currently they're working as data analysts, data scientists, data engineers across different organizations across the world. So one thing I would like to say before I call it a day is please, this training program is starting on the 7th of October. If you're looking to get started, all right, this is the best platform for you to get started. All right. So thank you very much. I'm just going to share some of the things that we did last year and what really propelled us more to do more this year. All right. So we helped over 300 people land their first job. Literally, I mean, like people that had no experience. 300 people, no experience, coming from some of them were entrepreneurs, some of them had never worked before, some of them were stay-at-home mothers, some of them were literally just customer service, and so on. And we're able to help them transition to getting their first role. This is not including people that had a little bit of experience. Maybe you're working as an HR professional, you learned HR analytics, and now you currently work as an HR analyst. We didn't even factor these people into consideration. The finance people or people that are doing operations, supply chain, and we're able to transition into different roles within their niche areas. We didn't capture those ones. We looked at people that had no background, because that's a key thing. That's the key thing that we're looking out for. People that have no experience, how can they get started in the tech space? And we had over 300 last year. Okay. And now they work for diverse businesses across the world, back home in Nigeria, in Ghana. We had some people getting jobs in Kenya. We had two people, I think I remember vividly about two ladies got jobs with NGOs in Kenya. All right. One was in Zimbabwe also. All right. So you see, these are the kind of opportunities you get for tech skills. It's not just companies within your local environment. You can actually get jobs outside your environment. So you see, we're featured everywhere last year. Business Day, Analytics help Africans across 4 continents land tech jobs. Well, you see everything that we have in 5 Nigerians win 1 million data analytics hackathon and so on. Even PR Fire, which is based in Europe, okay, it's a Europe publication. PR Fire also were featured on PR Fire All right, and you can see Analytics reiterate commitment to help Africans get tech jobs in Europe. All right, so guys in the UK, you can see majority of people getting jobs in NHS, getting jobs in Frasers, PwC, KPMG, Microsoft, Amazon, and so on and so forth. So these are the kind of things that you're going to be getting. All right, and there's so much more opportunities. Trust me, so much opportunities. All right. I'm gonna take just the last question and I'm gonna call it a day. Agbede Shegun. Did I get it? Shegun, yes, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, Ifemina.
Yes, good
So
evening.
I just want to chip in something. I think the videos, is all these videos, apart from sending it to our mails, is there a way we can get to check them on YouTube, maybe on your YouTube pages, so at least should in case, because I'm not sure, are they on YouTube, so at least anytime, even though it's not sent to our mail, we can always get to YouTube and pick some of these things, because today when I missed, I later joined in, and I'm looking forward to start in October 7 in the new cohorts. I think I've paid part, so I'm still looking forward to balance up before the program starts.
Okay, yes, everything. So all our masterclass is on our YouTube channel. Every single masterclass we have is on our YouTube channel. All right, so you see here, build your first data model. This was the masterclass we had on data engineering. The one we had one earlier this month. All right, so this was the first one. This was it. So if I open this now, you will get to see duplication, how you can build your own data model using duplication. All right, so you see it here. This is what do you call it? This is one of the data engineering masterclass we had this. So in this particular masterclass, you get to learn how to build a data model, okay, from scratch, even if you've never done it before in your life. All right, we built it practically in class. All right, this is data modeling. So if you go to the YouTube page, and that's why I say you should subscribe to it, so that whenever we upload a new video, you would always get to see.
I did. So
Okay,
thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. So if for the people that are still, if you just click on playlist, all right, you would see master class on the playlist. So all our master class is uploaded to this particular place. All right.
Wonderful.
So you'd see this one we had yesterday, and we had this yesterday, employee survey analysis using Excel/Power BI. All right. How to become a tech talent without a computer related degree.
To navigate any challenge.
All right. So those are the things that you want to learn. All right. So this was with Dr. Kenneth, one of the top professionals based here in the UK. All right. How did he transition to becoming an AI leader? All right. Currently working with AstraZeneca. All right. Okay, so this is another one, how to leverage AI in Excel as a data professional. So we have a ton of masterclass sessions that we have. This one for data engineering, this for business analysis, this for data science/data analyst. All right, where you get to work with Python inside of Excel. How do you work with Python inside Excel? You know Python now exists in Excel. How do you do that? That's exactly what you're going to be visiting in this particular masterclass. All right, so we have a ton of master classes, and we always give you premium content. Can somebody say premium content? Say premium content where you are. All right, so we don't joke with our content, with the things that we push out there, the value that we add to people's life. All right, so please, guys, like I said one last time, the training program starting on the 7th of October. We are running a discount at the moment, discounted amount. So the original fee was £500. So instead of you paying the original fee of £500, you're paying a discounted amount of £400. You can pay in 2 installments, £300 for the first installment. Then you pay 1 month later the balance of £100. And in Naira, it's 350,000 Naira. You pay in 2 installments of 250,000 Naira and 100,000 Naira. All you need to do is click on this link in order for you to gain access to the materials and all the things you need to make payment. Just click on the link and it's going to take you to a web page where you can get all the payment information. Once you make payment, please click on this to upload. You'll see it here. The second link is the second tab. Upload your initial and full receipt over here and you're good to go. All right. So that's all for today. So if you had a wonderful time today, if you learned something new, you are happy to be with 10 Analytics, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. I want you to say, yeah. Let's call it that. This is the first of the month. So if you had a wonderful time, unmute yourself and say, yeah. Let's go. So I want to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guy. Who else?
Yeah,
Who else?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for
yeah.
taking out time and really
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you taking out time on a Sunday, all right, to listen to me and to listen to Trend Analytics, to listen to what we have. So this is the best platform to be on in order for you to learn, all right, not learn anything technical, any technical skills, okay? If you have any concerns, you can always reach out to anybody in the WhatsApp group, okay? If you're on the WhatsApp group, send a message to the WhatsApp group if you need any form of information. If you have any questions, please send a message. You can go to the website to send a message. You can send an email. Somebody will always respond to you. All right. And if you want to speak with me personally, my name is Ifemena Epro. Okay. And you can always send me a message on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'll be happy to take it off from there. All right. Thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Independence Day tomorrow. Tomorrow is public holiday. All right. So cheers and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye, guys. Thank you.